Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
It is the home opener for the Lake Mills Bulldogs as the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears try to spoil the party tonight. Good evening, everyone. Tyler Lance with you here on Hometown Radio, KLGA Algona, and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream as we get set for the top of Iowa West basketball opener. It got pushed back a little bit due to snow. Bishop Garrigan was supposed to open earlier against Belmont Clemmy, but this will be their first top of Iowa West matchup as they visit the Lake Mills Bulldogs tonight. Golden Bears will try to keep a 40-game top of Iowa West winning streak going and an 11-game win streak over Lake Mills in the girls matchup that we have coming your way at 6:15. We'll talk about it all. I caught up with both head coaches prior to tonight's game. Lake Mills head coach Beth Van Rokel as well as Bishop Garrigan head coach Brandon Schwab. You will hear from both of them coming up next on Hometown Radio and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
Pregame show continues here on Hometown Radio KLGA, as right now I'm talking with Lake Mills head coach Beth Van Rokel. Coach, first of all, thank you very much for joining today, and let's start off with the first couple games of the season. Obviously, it's been a tough 0-2 start. Your team's been so close in each of those games, but overall, how would you evaluate your performance so far and just what you've seen from this group here through the first couple of games?
Yeah, we've definitely had a rough finish on both of our games, and where we're not winning. However, I've seen amazing improvement. We're really looking at shooting the ball, being more selective on our shots, trying to get shots inside, necessarily just shooting as we come down the floor and whatever's open first, trying to get in an offense, run a structured offense, trying to get the ball up the floor on fast breaks, trying to take advantage of those easy points that way too by running, and we got speed, we got people that can run, and we got big people that can run too, or tall people that run. So that's what we're trying to work on. Obviously, that Newman game, who they were hitting lights out too. We shot really well, but they shot better than us even. Three girls didn't expect to hit 25, 23. We're hitting really a lot of shots from the two-point line, so that kind of took us for a loop. And we battled hard. We came back and hit a three at the end to go into overtime, and just couldn't. Obviously, didn't finish that one out how we wanted to, but I was very impressed with an 80-82 score. That's pretty impressive for girls basketball. Pretty high scoring, so that was cool to make sure that we can score points. And then, of course, played Belmont the other night and just really, really struggled shooting. Our shooting percentage was really, really poor that game. People that normally would be making a lot higher percentages was off. They're just off on their game. And so trying to find a way still to win by still, doing other things, rebounding when we can and making steals and stuff and getting a little easier buckets even. And we didn't never give up, fought hard. Lamb played really well. Their best players there. She played really well and scored really well when my best defender was out with 2 fouls for a full quarter. So that kind of got us down there a little bit, and they caught up. So I'm very proud of the effort. Things haven't all came together yet, so I'm really excited about what we still can do in our future and what our potential is. New program, new things for the girls, and so we're a lot of new stuff, and it's like we don't have enough practice, so we got a lot of stuff to put in, a lot of stuff to do. So just take a day at a time, one game at a time, try to keep improving. I'm just very proud of the girls and their effort of trying to learn a new style of play, being more selective, being more aggressive. Even though with the shot clock, it doesn't bother. I'm still trying to not just take that first opportunity, the first open look, and trying to get something easier, looking inside and just attacking that defense. So honestly, very proud of the girls. I don't even want to think about the record necessarily because at this point we're just trying to get better, and we have a lot of talent. And so I think we have a lot more to show and a lot more to improve here in the next few weeks, hopefully before break, and then hopefully second time, seeing some of these teams, we'll have a better opportunity to take it to them and show them what we really got.
And Coach, when you talk about implementing that program here in your first year, returning as the head coach to Lake Mills, how do you balance out refining what you did last year versus installing a new system? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to be able to see quite a few of the games last year. I did actually do some commentating on a different radio station with my nephew, who's also my assistant coach. So we both saw lots of basketball games, and so we knew the talent. I actually coached most of these girls in 8th grade as well as the 8th grade coach. So knew them, they knew me. I've coached them before. So the transition was not difficult in the sense of coaching personnel. They knew my style. They knew my how I like to play, my coaching style and stuff. But, it definitely – they definitely did more of a freelance offense last year. It wasn't a lot of structure. They just kind of could do what they'd like and set, off-ball screens and cut to the basket. And I'm totally different than that. I actually played college basketball, and one of my places I played tried to run a freelance offense, and we found out very quickly it did not work very well with even the college-level girls I was with. Immediately put in a structured offense. Like I tell the girls this is a structure to base off of, so we have something to do. But you can, if you see an opening, you can take it anytime. You can freelance off it if you see an opening. So I think they bought into that really well. I think they enjoy it. They like to have a structure, so not just kind of figuring out what do I do all the time, not really understanding where they should go or who should cut where. So I think that's gone really well. And I think, we worked this summer on stuff, and so they kind of knew that was coming. And like I said, it hasn't been a difficult transition just because they already know me and my assistant coach Stone pretty well. So that's been a good experience for sure.
And Coach, I think structure is definitely a key word right there, and you've kind of already referenced how things have started to come together. But when you look at what you brought back from last year, you have 4 of those 5 starters returning. How much has that continuity really helped you put in place what you're trying to install with this team?
It really does. It's helped a ton. Obviously, you have a lot of experience. Honestly, knowing I'm a basketball player too, that the girls overall they don't utilize the post I don't think as well as even boys do. Mostly they're just most post players don't really know a lot moves. They don't really know how to score. They just kind of panic when they get the ball, or they just want to put it back up. It's on a rebound kind of thing. So we've really focused starting this summer, teaching all of our posts, anybody potentially a post actually post moves, so that take away that scare, that timid reaction of having the ball, so that they can start being confident and dominant inside. I mean, yes, I have her returning, and Elistini, she's amazing. She's 6 foot, but she just didn't really know what to do. So giving her that confidence that she can score, she can jump. She's a very fast runner. She's qualified for state multiple times in the 110 hurdles. So she's a good athlete. And so just trying to initiate this confidence in these girls that they can do this. Like, you can do this. You can be a dominant force in there. You need to demand that respect because you are tall and you can jump and you can get these rebounds and you can score. Putting things together, giving them the confidence. Obviously, we're very successful volleyball school, but, using a lot of the same athletes. So there's no reason why we couldn't with basketball as well. But just giving that, basketball is a totally different game, and there's a lot of different pieces. Trying to build those things our weekend and getting that structure. We did not shoot well at all as a team last year. Percentage was really poor. And so that's one thing we're trying to instill, like I said, better shot selection and finishing. Like, finishing is a big deal. And even the other night, we missed so many shots we should have made. So still obviously a work in progress. Getting to that point where they're be successful at finishing at the hoop will be a big difference for them. I mean, they play really well together. They look well. They have great passes, but we just don't finish. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's still a process. We're still working on it. Working on that confidence is the big thing. But I believe in them, and they should believe in them too, that they can do this and learn how to focus on that finish and go through if they, if someone's in their way, and get around them and go up hard. Don't have to shy away from someone kind of standing in your way either. Just make that attempt and go out hard at that basket.
Talking right now with Lake Mills head coach Beth Van Rokel. And Coach, you obviously played at Lake Mills during your high school career. How much do you feel that helps you relate to the girls and what they're going through right now?
I think it's really, I don't know, I just think it's really cool. It's a cool experience. I think it's important that I've been there. I've been here. I played in this gym. I played many games, all my whole high school career. From freshman on, I was varsity starter at that gym. So I know where they've been. It's a lot different than it was. My first year was a 5-on-5 was first year 5-on-5 was my freshman year. So obviously that was a new thing and a lot of transition and difference for a lot of people. But I just have that pride too. I think in our school, knowing that they know that I do care about and this school. This is my only school I've ever gone to. It is my school. I care about the program. I care about them. I want them to be successful. And I'm all in, you know. I'm not switching schools. I'm not going somewhere else. Like, I'm not looking to move on. Like, this is where I'm at. I care about them, and I want them to be successful and have success and have fun. And I want them to learn to love basketball. I just love basketball. It's my favorite sport. And I have a couple that really do love basketball now, and many others are really starting to enjoy it a lot. So I just want that atmosphere of drive and hard work being put towards that, because they have some kids with passion and they're good, and other people are buying into that too. So they're jumping on that train of getting focused, so trying to work hard. And it's kind of fun. I get to actually jump in and play with them every once in a while. So it's kind of fun to jump in there too and show them, a little different looks that they've seen. And being a female, they can't really say, "Oh, you're a guy." I mean, I've had guy coaches and they step in and it's so different. They're just taller and bigger and longer, and it's just different. So having me be able to jump in is kind of, I think, an advantage, because it's another player that they, even though I'm a little older, obviously, but I can still do a few things that a different look that they're used to than the normal, secondary squad that's coming out there to face them. So I can play different offensive players from other teams and pretend to be them, and they have to get a good look on me too. So it's kind of, that's a really good advantage also, being a female and having some experience playing basketball. I can jump in and help that way too.
And, Coach, we'll turn this back to the players in just a second, but I did want to ask, you had a previous coaching stint here at Lake Mills, and just timing-wise, things obviously weren't quite right, but can you just take me into getting the second opportunity and the way things worked out this time around?
Oh, I'm very excited. The first time I was having children, 2 of the 3 years I was pregnant with kids, the 3 years I was here, and I had another little one at home, and it was just really hard. The time being away was really hard. I was gone a lot, and I when I was home, I didn't feel like I could put time towards basketball and scouting and stuff. So I just didn't feel like I was the best fit for them, and they could probably get someone else to give them the time they need more than I could. And it was just a lot of time, and I had little ones. Now I have high schooler and a middle schooler and an elementary kid who's in 4th grade, and he even comes and likes to help and helps with water and does stuff like that. So they're involved now, and it's a lot easier to be doing it now, because I'm going to the games. My son's a basketball player, he's on the JV and JJV, so I'm already there at a lot of the games too. So it's just the flow now and how it worked out is just amazing. I've enjoyed it so much, and it's just so much easier than it was the first time, just because of the difference of time and how old my kids are now, and they can be a part of it versus leaving them at home every night, and they're little and missing a lot of stuff. So it's been a great opportunity. I'm very happy I've got it. This group of girls is awesome. Great coaching staff at helping me, so it's just been a great opportunity.
Coach, as we wrap up for today, we do want to talk a little bit about tonight's game as well, as you have Bishop Garrigan coming to town for this one, and there's obviously a lot of things that stand out about the Golden Bears and really make them go, but one thing that I think is definitely maybe overlooked for the Golden Bears is the way that they're able to pass the ball so effectively and with multiple different players. So just for tonight's game, how do you try to disrupt the passing game of Bishop Garrigan?
You just got to get, you got to get in the way of the passes any way you can, whether that be down low where they're trying to pass it, or when they're actually trying to pass it from the wing, or wherever they're trying to pass. We just got to be aggressive. It is obviously going to be a very hard-fought battle for us. They're very talented, very good. And so we do our best effort to just play hard, do what we can to try to stop their inside, obviously play, and outside, and then we got to finish on our end. If we have a chance to score, we got to do it. So I'm just excited to see how the girls step up. It's a pretty intimidating game, obviously, and so I think they know that let's just go out and have fun. Go out and have fun, see what we can do, play what we've been practicing, and see if we can make it a game. See if we can make it a game and make our shots. If we make our shots that I know we're capable of, we will score. It's just how much we can play defense and how make some good plays on defense will make a big difference. So, yeah, they're a very talented team. Not excited they're in our conference coming in, because that's new again also from when I was here last time, but they're very talented. And so I wish them all the luck as they move on, obviously, to their careers in college, because they'll have a good career there too. But, yeah, so tonight should be interesting. It's the first home game now because of the weather, and hopefully get a crowd out there, have fun, and I'm excited to even see Audie play. Obviously, next year she'll be at Iowa State, so that'll be fun to watch and see her play up close up now. And I do wish her the best when she goes there, but not tonight. So we'll try to do the best we can on her tonight and see if we can stop her at all or reduce some of her numbers if we can.
Thank you very much for your time today, and best of luck in tonight's game.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Lake Mills head coach Beth Van Rokel here on the pregame show as we get set for Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills on Hometown Radio KLGA.
More Sports Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
Dump it. They do the dirty work so you don't have to.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Greg Penny and Company CPA, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Yemlin Builders and Apartments, quality apartments for rent, beauty and craftsmanship that will never go out of style.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
And we are getting set for high school basketball action here on Hometown Radio KLGA as Bishop Garrigan faces Lake Mills. Right now I'm talking with Bishop Garrigan head coach Brandon Schwab. And Coach, thank you very much for joining today. Obviously you've had a few days of practice since your last game on Thursday against Newman Catholic. So what's the focus been over the past few days for your team in those sessions?
Just transitional defense and, our defensive rotation and just making sure we stay engaged for the entire possession. We've worked a lot on, just making sure we stay active hands and active talk throughout the possession every time. And, that's been a real focus is that and getting a lot of shots up lately in practice.
And, Coach, you come out of that 85-18 win over Newman Catholic on Thursday, and obviously in that one you got to empty out the bench, and we'll probably be seeing that a few more times here throughout the course of the season. When you talk about your bench, what do you feel a championship bench has as far as what you're getting on a night-to-night basis?
I feel a championship bench always, it's going to take energy from the bench to come off, and, whether you're a player where that's going to get some minutes or whether you're one that's going to be on the bench all night, we always like to see you actively engaged in the game, ready to go in at any point. And, I thought our bench has done a good job with coming in with Seisha and Emmy of being able to come in and really give us quality minutes without a drop-off. And, that's important when you could sub and your team still keeps attacking and keep defending at a high level. And that's what they're bringing to us every night so far.
And, Coach, one other interesting aspect of that win over Newman was the fact that you had Emmy Bartolo and Zoe Montag finishing 1 and 2 on the team in assists. And obviously we're used to seeing Molly Joyce lead that category, but overall I really just think that speaks to how many good passers of the basketball you have on the team. So how do you go about developing those young players into good passers?
They've just played the game a lot, and, they understand, they've started to play enough with Audie and Molly and Abby, and just understanding how to read off of each other. We say all the time to trust you. We've got to trust our teammates. You got to trust the pass. We've got to trust that our players are going to make the right play. And I think there's a big trust in each other, on our team of knowing that they're going to make the right pass, knowing if they're going to give it up, they're going to get it back, and just making the right pass every time. So a lot of it's just trusting each other on the floor is a big part of why we're seeing so many assists.
And, Coach, early in the season, obviously when you talk about any numbers, it comes with a small sample size disclaimer attached to it. But right now the team's right around that 20% mark on three-pointers. So what do you attribute that to, and how do you start to get that number up over the next few games?
Just attribute it to poor shooting. Right now, this is the best shooting team I've had in the last 13 years, and the ball isn't going in, and that's going to change. We're just in a slump overall as a team shooting-wise, and we are very capable of hitting 12 to 15 threes every single night we play. We just haven't yet. So, we're just going to, we've been mixing in a few more shooting drills in practice and, just keeping the confidence up in the players. I trust every one of them that are shooting the shots, and I want them all. We went back through on film, and every single one of them are good shots. So, you trust the process, and it's a long season, and we're going to hit some shots here, and we just got to trust that each other keep shooting good shots because eventually they're going to go in.
And, Coach, you have a top of Iowa West road trip tonight with a visit to Lake Mills. So what stands out to you about this Bulldog team?
They've got a really good point guard in Taylor Vonick. She's been starting since her freshman year, and she's a really nice player, plays with good pace, and is always looking to attack. And, they use the pick-and-roll game quite well. They send their 4 and 5 player up to set a lot of high ball screens with Taylor, and That's going to be our focus, is to make somebody set their offense up, try to make somebody else score, but Taylor, because she's a good player, and that's going to be the vocal point of our defense. Also, Steenie inside has played a lot since her freshman year, and is really good on the boards, and it's just we're going to really focus on those two players and making sure we do everything we can to make the other three score for them.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for the time today, and best of luck in tonight's game.
All right, thanks, Tyler.
Bishop Garrigan head coach Brandon Schwab as we get set for basketball. Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills coming up on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Kasuth Regional Health Center. Make KRHC your home for healthcare.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country. Highway 18 West.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush always beats a full house.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all of your auto service and repair needs.
Erpelding and Voigt CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprise. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
All sports club members bringing you this broadcast.
With today's technology, there's no reason to wait by the mailbox for bank statements. Just sign up for internet banking and e-statements. This is Sherry at Security State Bank. E-statements reduce the risks of mail fraud and identity theft. Internet banking allows you to check your balances, see checks and deposits that have cleared, transfer funds between accounts, make payments, and say goodbye to paper filing and shredding. Internet banking and e-statements from Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services. Celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. Collision Specialist. A total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio. When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
With over a decade of experience, Jake Ingalls Electric is here to handle any electrical job you could possibly have. From anything agricultural related to complex commercial wiring to something simple like installing a new outlet in your home, Jake Ingalls Electric does it all. Have your wiring done right and call Jake at 515-320-4286. Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
It's time to meet the starting lineup for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears.
Zoe Montag, sophomore, number 22.
Montag on the right wing. She'll try triple over the top of McLaughlin, and she buries it. How about the freshman getting the green light and burying a confident three-pointer?
Ashlyn Hovey, senior, number 30.
Sidearms it across the court, Hovey. Catch and fire triple, and she splashes it through. Nothing but net, Ashlyn Hovey.
Abby Capacious, junior, number 21.
Now Capacious heads to the baseline, goes around Crooks, turns around, goes off the glass and scores it.
Molly Joyce, senior, number 11.
Joyce towards the right, Joyce crosses over, step back three on the way, and she sticks it! Nothing but net at the buzzer for Molly Joyce.
Audie Crooks, senior, number 55.
Joyce flips it into Crooks, a little behind her, she catches anyways, reverses on the layup, and she bounces it in. Oh, Audie Crooks with a nice move that time. Tip-off is coming up next on Hometown and Home Country Radio. There you have it, the Bishop Garrigan starting lineup for tonight as the Golden Bears will wear their road yellow jerseys with the black numerals and lettering on the front and back. Lake Mills coming out of a starting lineup of the senior Natalie Brandenburg, junior Taylor Vonick, senior Josie Helgeson, junior Bryn Rognes, and the senior Ella Steeney. Lake Mills in their purple on whites. They have the yellow trim around their jersey as well. At midcourt, it's the 6'3" Audie Crooks going up against the 6-foot-tall Ella Steeney. Crooks taps it over to Capacious, and we are underway. Capacious right in the lane, goes right to it, misses short, got her own miss, followed up, ball got tipped right into Crooks' hands. She follows and she scores 2-0 Bishop Garrigan. So good start for the Golden Bears. I'd have to guess Audie Crooks' record on those opening jump balls is perfect. I really wish Varsity Bound kept stats for that. As Vonick drifts towards the right, dishes the ball to Rognes. Outside around the perimeter it goes. Helgeson in the corner, tried to enter it into the lane, got knocked away by Hovey. 7:31 on the game clock, 17 on the shot clock. Vonick sidestepping and looking for space. Vonick penetrating the lane but threw it right to Montag. Now Crooks will bring it across the timeline. Crooks handling the basketball, distributing it to Hovey. Back to the left to Montag. High lob into Crooks. It's knocked away. Nice defense by Lake Mills. Capacious tries to save it and she forced a jump ball. So early jump ball, 2-0 Bishop Garrigan. Lake Mills will inbound from the baseline just to the far side of the basket. Bulldogs averaged just under 40.5 points per game last season, number 7 of 9 teams in the top of Iowa West. But they bring back 4 of their 5 starters, so a lot of continuity for a Lake Mills team that is currently off to an 0-2 start. Vonick chases down the loose ball. Joyce flies by. Here's a three-pointer, and she banks it in. Oh, Vonick got a bird that time, and Lake Mills takes the early lead.
Lake Mills takes the lead. The last time these two teams met was volleyball in this gym. Lake Mills, the premier team in the top of Iowa Conference.
Oh, Crooks dishes it to Capacious and he scores. Audie Crooks distributing the rock beautifully, and it's 4-3 Bishop Garrigan. And now a blocking foul against Joyce. Joyce was trying to force Vonick all the way to the sideline, and she'll get tagged on this one.
Joyce beat her to the spot, kind of trapped her along the sidelines rather than cross over and go the other way. Lake Mills runs into Joyce, picks up the blocking foul.
Joyce guarding in the backcourt. They're trying to trap Vonick, but she weaves away from it and comes across the timeline. 4-3 Bishop Garrigan. Steeney screens, but Joyce stays with it. Then Steeney screens again, and now Joyce has to catch back up to Vonick. A flip over to the right to Vandenberg, now back to the left to Vonick. Vonick scored just under 11 points per game last season. Passes into the corner to Brandenburg. Penetrating, shooting over Crooks and drilling it. 5-4 Lake Mills. The home crowd is loving it.
We got a back and forth game so far. Hasn't had the case that far so far this year for Bishop Garrigan.
Lake Mills head coach Beth Van Rokel told me in the pregame, Lake Mills is going to get good shots tonight. It's just a matter if they knock them down. How about a mid-range J from Crooks that rims out? Tried to bank it in, and Brandenburg rebounds, and here come the Bulldogs. Bulldogs with some effort. Oh, Vonick thought about pulling for a 3. Into the lane instead, Rognes knocked away. Steeney taps it out, and Vonick has it. 5:46 on the clock, 5-4 Lake Mills. Vonick with a long pump fake, flips it to the right to Brandenburg. Brandenburg crossing the foul line, passing left to Helgeson. Helgeson to the short corner near side Steeney, now just outside of the lane Rognes. The junior coming outside Brandenburg. Lake Mills with some great ball movement so far as it's now backed up. 6 on the shot clock. Vonick has to create. They screen Joyce again. Vonick diving left of the lane. Montag with the knockaway. Out of bounds with 1 second to go on the shot clock.
Referee says out of bounds. Clearly that was out on Lake Mills, but it's not going to help him out much, as I don't think they're going to be able to get the shot off in 1 second.
Time for an emergency heave. They get it in. Ball's off the glass. They lay it in, and does it count? It does count.
It does count. I stand corrected. Unbelievable.
Rognes laid it in. A beautiful inbounds play.
Well,
boy, Lake Mills came to play tonight, ladies and gents.
Yeah, their coach was right. They are creating all kinds of shots. Here's one by Montag.
Montag swirls out of the drain on the 3. Crooks follows. It's tipped on the way up. It's out of bounds, and it will stay Bishop Garrigan. Steeney bothered that shot. She's 6 feet tall and has great length.
Well, all kinds of energy just bursting off of that Lake Mills bench. You'd think it was the sub-state game, and they're going to Wells Fargo after this. This is exciting basketball. Lots of energy in the gym right now.
This gym is buzzing as Montag has the top of the key. 7-4 Lake Mills. 3-point try, Ashlyn Hovey. It swirls out no good, and Helgeson has the rebound. This is what you don't want on the road if you're Bishop Garrigan. Lake Mills sticking around early. Brandenburg into the lane. Steeney. She bangs inside on a foul.
I'll tell you, this Lake Mills team really works well together. They know where their teammates are. That was one of their strengths in the volleyball season. They all just flowed as one unit, doing the same thing on the basketball floor right now.
For Lake Mills, it's a matter of they need to start hitting their shots. Now, they're a good free-point shooting team through 2 games. They've been shooting 32% on threes as Steeny rainbows a 3 and left it short. But they're only shooting 38% on 2-pointers so far this season, so that number has to go up. But with the shots they're getting so far tonight, I imagine it would. And now Steeny airballs a 3.
Now,
or
Tyler,
airballs a
did
free
you
throw.
catch who picked up that foul? There's 2 players for the Bears down low. I don't know if they gave it to Crooks or Capacious. It's not on the board yet. I don't think it was on Crooks, but that would be a strategy of Lake Mills. They've got a foul on Joyce. They've got a foul on Capacious. Try to pick up fouls on those big 3.
It appeared to be Capacious by my eyes, but it's hard to say as now we have a foul inside by Lake Mills. But you're right. No, Joyce. Joyce has 2 right now. I see they now have it updated. So, yeah, it was Joyce on that last foul.
Yeah, Joyce has been in foul trouble in the past and been able to play through it. A good test for her with 2 fouls. She stays in the game and launches a long 3.
Oh, Joyce, a heat check 3, but the heat is not on. Long rebound out to Hovey. Crooks in the lane. Crooks turns, shoots over the top, and she missed it off to the right. Brandenburg has a rebound. Bishop Garrigan is settling early in this game. Outside Helgeson, 4:19 on the clock, 7-4 Lake Mills. Short corner, Brandenburg lets the jumper fly, and it swirls out. The roof would have blown off this place if Brandenburg had knocked it down. Crooks handling the rock, passing left to Joyce. Left open for a 3-pointer, and she drills it. 7-7 tie. Molly Joyce answering right back.
Oh, tie game. Garrigan in this situation a couple times this year up in the Twin Cities.
Back into the short corner, Varnick as she hits it. I'll tell you what, that short corner is going to be open. There's going to be an opening in the Bishop Garrigan defense, and that shot's been open a couple of times tonight as ball's knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with Garrigan here with 3:48 on the clock.
Yeah, if you can execute your offense against a 2-3 zone, you can find that short corner for some open looks. Lake Mills doing a very nice job, as Coach promised in the pregame interview.
9-7 Lake Mills. They've been so close their first 2 games, an 82-80 loss to Newman Catholic in overtime, a 54-46 loss to Belmont Clemmy. Capacious in the near corner to the right of us, out top Montag. Catch and fire 3, bounces off. Capacious sails in for the board. She follows and left it short. Crooks' 3rd opportunity, she misses. 4th opportunity, and she got it to tie the game at 9.
Well, if similar opponents are any inclination of how the game's going to go, this Lake Mills team must have played a Newman team that was much different than we saw. Oh, what a steal.
And a throwaway by Crooks. She threw it right to Vonnick. Turnover by the Golden Bears. Vonnick far side of the court. Comes out top to the senior Brandenburg. Brandenburg averaged 5.5 points per game last season as Rognus has it at the foul line. Hovey guards, Hovey pokes at it. Back up top to Vonnick. Side steps into a 3-pointer. She's feeling it, ladies and gents. She drills it, and Lake Mills is up 12-9. Vonnick already has 8 points.
Vonnick, fantastic ball handling so far this game. Excellent decision making on her shots. That was a huge 3.
Vonnick scored 33 points against Newman. Had 16 against Belmont Clemmy as Joyce tries to answer right back. Hops up the rim to the far side, and it's rebounded by Vonnick. It's 12-9 in favor of Lake Mills, and we're with 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Seeing a Lake Mills team that's bringing that juice tonight. Around the perimeter, it's Helgeson into the lane. Rognus heading to the bucket, got by Hovey and scored it. 14-9 Lake Mills.
Lake Mills up 5, really putting it to the Garrigan team right now with pure energy, excellent shooting. Garrigan, meanwhile, ice cold after hitting everything in warm-ups that we casually watched.
I'm honestly a little surprised Coach Schwab hasn't taken a timeout yet as Montag tries a 3 and she drains it. Montag from the top of the key finds the bottom of the net, and that will settle the crowd for a moment.
Well, you know, when you have the players that Coach Schwab has disposal, I think he knows in the long run, I don't think this Lake Mills run can continue, and he probably wants to test his team, make them work through this sort of adversity rather than bailing them out with a timeout call.
That's a good point as Vonnick heads into the far corner, flips it up top, and heads into the backcourt. Joyce at the knockaway. Molly Joyce gets the ball, puts it off the glass and scores. Tremendous hustle by Molly Joyce, and we are tied at 14.
I like this high-scoring, high-paced action.
And Molly Joyce avoiding the 3rd foul on that play, which was also important as she physically jostles for that ball, and now a steal. Joyce takes the ball away and she'll run. Joyce splits the defense, scoops it off the glass and scores. 16-14 Bishop Garrigan.
And that is quieting down the Lake Mills bench and the crowd as Vonnick going coast to coast.
Oh, she dishes to Steeny, and Steeny scores it. Great find by Vonnick.
Boy, Vonnick as a player, Gym Rat is a term of endearment. It doesn't sound great, but you can tell Vonnick is a gym rat. She clearly spends a lot of time in the gym handling the ball and shooting.
Capacious in the near corner, lets it fly and swishes it. 19-16 Bishop Garrigan. Abby Capacious trying to get on track on threes. Golden Bears have not been a good shooting three-point team so far this season as the pass of the court is out of the reach of Brandenburg and out of bounds. Beanie through the first few games, Bishop Garrigan just 20% on three-pointers. Molly Joyce is the only one shooting above 25%.
And that is uncharacteristic of this team. Very good three-point shooters, capacious. Ashlyn Hovey, Molly Joyce, all statistically solid three-point shooters, but they just brought in two freshmen off the bench, Seisha Alesh and Emmy Bartolo, who can really knock down the three-pointer as young freshman players.
Right now, Alish has it, flips it over to the right to Bartolo with 28 seconds of the game clock. Joyce in the corner again, off the back of the iron. Capacious secures another offensive board. That's free for her, but then it's knocked away. It's knocked away by Ava Moen, who just came in for Lake Mills. And now here come the Bulldogs into the front court. Bishop Garrigan up by 3. Bonnick to tie the game. Off the front of the iron, rebounded by Alish, and a foul going against Lake Mills.
Seisha Alish, not the tallest player on the floor, but she plays tall. She gets in there for that rebound. Moment ago, Abby Capacious had the ball taken away from her. That does not happen very often, Tyler. Abby Capacious, very strong player. Coach Schwab urging his team on now. Has been very calm so far this game as the quarter is about to come to an end.
5 seconds to go in the quarter. Joyce is up top, picks up her dribble, flips it right with 4 seconds. Back up top to Joyce, 2 seconds. Capacious 1 second, doesn't see the clock, and that's it. Joyce shot the three-pointer, but it was not before the buzzer sounded, and that is the end of the first quarter. Bishop Garrigan has a little company tonight. It's Bishop Garrigan 19 and Lake Mills 16 on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Heading into the second quarter, it is Bishop Garrigan 19 and Lake Mills 16. And I'll tell you what, Beanie, Coach Schwab is undressing his team in the huddle right now. It is a severe talking to going on after that first quarter.
You know, I think he resisted calling a timeout. He wanted his team to weather the storm, see what kind of adversity they could deal with, see who was going to step as a leader. Molly Joyce turned it on there, got a couple big buckets. They got some good shots off, but obviously Coach Schwab wants to see much, much more. And we'll see how these girls respond out of this quarter break. Much needed. Audie Crooks is leading the way out of the huddle. I expect to see an abrupt turnaround in this score, as I think we're going to see the full onslaught of the Golden Bear offense as the ball is inbounded here by Capacious.
Bishop Garrigan has really not gotten Audie Crooks a whole lot of shots in the paint. She's actually taken a few outside jumpers so far tonight. At the foul line, it's Capacious, dishing to Joyce in the near corner, bullets it into the post to Crooks. One dribble sets herself, and she scores her to make it 21-16.
I remember a similar situation happened over the years when Bishop Garrigan has a bad quarter here and there, and they're able to turn it around. And we'll see what happens here. As a steal made by Hovey over to Capacious.
The ball is knocked away from Kate Bechtel, the freshman playing for Lake Mills. Capacious, a floater from inside the foul line, clangs it off the glass. Outside, quick ball moving to Hovey. She'll fire the three-pointer, and she cans it. 24-16, Bishop Garrigan. The three-point shooting numbers not pretty outside of Joyce so far this season. Bartolo came into tonight 0 for 8. Montag was 0 for 6. Hovey was 1 for 5 as Lake Mills will shoot a 3. Vonnick missing off the rack as it bounces outside and out of bounds. Hovey was 1 for 5 coming into tonight's game, and Golden Bears really want to get that three-point shooting on track. Coach Schwab said in the pregame, this is the best shooting three-point team that I've ever coached in the Garrigan girls team.
Boy, they were raining them down in warm-ups. I couldn't believe how many they made in a row. So excellent shooting team. Now those makes allow Garrigan to start the press up. That time that press created some problems, but they got to make it to be able to start the press.
Capacious had it knocked away by Vonnick, comes outside to Joyce, and she cans it. Molly Joyce left open, and she hits another three-pointer. She's up to 10.
Looking very casual, and that's how fast that offense can turn it around.
Joyce almost had a knockaway, and then Capacious comes in and picks Vonnick's pocket. Up to Montag, taps it out to Joyce with the volleyball pass. Her free ball is left short. Capacious offensive rebound, reverses, and she got fouled.
Nice move by Capacious. Couple good, powerful dribbles down low to open up an angle to the basket. Draws a foul, goes to the free throw line for the easiest shot in basketball. Because, Tyler, I've never seen anybody guard you at the free throw line. So if Garrett can get there a few more times, that would be good for them.
Nobody can guard you at the free throw line. Maybe the student section, you could argue, as Capacious misses off the back of the iron on the first one, a rare miss. Well, Capacious against Newman Catholic in Bishop Garrigan's most recent game had one of my favorite just stat lines of the game. Capacious ended up that game with 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 steals, 3 assists, and 0 turnovers. She was 7 of 11 shooting from the field as she splits the foul shots. And now Joyce steals the inbounds pass. She's in the corner, and it's dribbled out of bounds, but it was knocked out by Vonick for Lake Mills as Bishop Garrigan will keep it.
That's a pretty good line. You know, and the stats are something that has really changed sports. You know, back in the day, of course, no one ever knew what their stats were until much, much later. Now, instantaneous, we know what's going on in the world of stats.
Crooks in the paint, comes out to Joyce, bullseye from the corner. Molly Joyce makes it 31-16, and the Golden Bears have ripped off a 12-0 scoring run. Golden Bears trying to cause some issues in the backcourt. Lake Mills breaks the press as Moen passes it up across the court to Madison Edwards. Flips it right to Vonick. Down into the lane it goes, kissing it off the glass, and missing was Braylon Wagnes. And now here comes Crooks. It'll be a 3-point try on the way, left a little bit short. Taps out to the near side, rebounded by Lake Mills, and now they've got traffic in the backcourt, and Seisha Alish just ran head-on into Madison Edwards for a foul.
That was Emmy Bartolo that took that 3 from the corner, one of the sharp-shooting freshmen that leads Coach Slob to say how good of a shooting team he has. These freshmen can really, really shoot the ball well. And they've got some speed in there right now. A lot of speed in the Garrigan lineup as Capacious is going to drop back, and Garrigan is going to try their best to face guard and not let Lake Mills inbound the ball.
Bishop Garrigan wearing those bright yellow jerseys as Joyce knocks it away. It'll stay for Lake Mills as it heads out of bounds.
And this is tough with Vonick trying to get the ball. Molly Joyce is on her. Molly's an excellent face guarder. And it's going to be hard for Lake Mills to inbound that ball unless they bring up the Crooks. And that's just.
Oh, Vonick just split right past Crooks. She goes to the bucket and lays it in. She split the uprights that time. Crooks almost had the knockaway, but she couldn't contain the ball, and Vonick now has 10. Joyce has been central to everything defensively tonight for Bishop Garrigan. A few knockaways, a couple steals. Alish will try her hand at a three-pointer. Wedged inside as Capacious tried to tap it, but it's picked up by Moen. Here come Lake Mills. Vonick angles left. Charges inside, misses off the glass. Follows no good. Second follows up, and it is in by Moen. 31-20. So that'll make it 4 straight points here for Lake Mills after the early 12-0 run of Garrigan. Alish has it, high pass inside to Crooks, jumps to catch it, pinballs inside, and she got fouled. Crooks got knocked off her spot that time, not something you see every day, and she'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yes, Lake Mills doing a good job on Crooks so far. You know, one thing that makes them so good in volleyball is they have a couple tall hitters. Now, Crooks is still tallest player on the floor, but Steely and the backups for her that are in now doing a nice job of guarding Crooks. They're very pleased with what they've accomplished so far with Audie. But if, you know, we've seen Audie play so much over the years, she will stay calm, collected, and she will rally, and she'll light up that stat line throughout the night for sure. But she's definitely going to pick up her game offensively.
33-20 in favor of Bishop Garrigan as Crooks hits both foul shots. Bishop Garrigan, a great free throw shooting team so far this season, 76% from the line. Audie Crooks coming off a great game against Newman Catholic. Here's another steal. Bartolo inside, and she lays it in off the pass from Joyce. 35-20 now.
But Molly Joyce is wreaking havoc down there in the full court press.
Lake Mills gets it across the timeline. Alish bumping into Vonick, and that will go against Alish on the foul. Bishop Garrigan's 4th.
That time Alish and Molly Joyce, they're first cousins, and they tried to corral Vonick into a trap. And Molly, the senior, working with Alish, the freshman, had some words after that. They'll do it better next time.
Bishop Garrigan will now bring Montag back into the game as Alish heads to the bench. They're trying to screen Joyce again. That's the only way they can get her off of Vonick. Declining the screen is Vonick. The ball rolls away from her, picked up by her own teammate. The pass inside is intercepted by Capacious, and now here she comes on the push. Capacious angles to the right, gives to Joyce. Joyce high lob to Crooks, and she sailed it over the top. Montag bats it back into play, but it's picked up by Vonick. 4:24 on the clock in quarter number 2. 35-20 Bishop Garrigan as they have weathered the early storm by Lake Mills. Now a screen against Montag. Vonick heads to the left. Crooks comes out to defend. Inside Steeny working against Capacious. Fades back and she scores it over the top.
Nice job by Steeny. She's got a little height on Capacious. Holds her footwork really nicely. Goes up straight. Puts in a good short jumper.
Steeny is a senior, 6 feet tall, providing some good size from the Lake Mills lineup. Here's Montag trying to get on track on a three-pointer, but it rolls off the rim. And now here comes Vonick. Vonick with a little pace, crosses up Bartolo, flips it off the glass and misses, and Joyce taps the rebound to herself, outlets it up to Bartolo. Can she get there? Yes, she can. She lays it up, and she got it.
Oh, what speed by Bartolo to get that pass. Good outlet pass. you got to lead the receiver a little bit. Perfect pass, perfect finish there.
QB1 Molly Joyce once again picking up an assist for the Golden Bears. Molly Joyce, #1 in the top of Iowa West last year in that category, as a 3-point ball is missed by Lake Mills, and Audie Crooks secures the rebound. You know, bad job out of me. Crooks came into tonight needing 5 rebounds to hit 1,000. I'm not sure if that was number 5 or not, but I have a feeling we'll be seeing rebound number 1,000 at some point tonight, as Crooks fades back for a foul line jumper, misses to the right. Capacious with another offensive board, but then it's tied up. Getting in there was Wagnes, and she forces the jump ball.
Yeah, Capacious and Wagnes, wrestling match on the floor just there. Neither of those young women were going to let their grip off of that ball. Crooks pulls up the jumper. She's working on that a lot. You know, we've seen Audie bring the ball up a few times tonight. You know, when you're a senior in this program and have the accolades that Audie has, I think you can kind of do whatever you want. But she will get chewed out by Coach Schwab from time to time. Last year in the Forest City game, she really responded to a chewing and lit it up from there.
Pass up the court is chased down by Ellie Reddick, who just checked in for Forest City, the sophomore getting a few minutes off the bench. 2:55 to go until halftime. Quick first half. Spinning around Rognes, getting it to Steeny. Steeny jumps and she scores. Nice jumper over the top of Crooks, and it's 37-24.
Steeny is playing great inside right now, getting position, using her footwork. Another nice jump shot.
Around the perimeter, it goes to Bartolo, far side of the court. Up top, Montag bullets it to Joyce. High pass into Crooks. Catches to the left hand and scores it with the right.
Even the triple team, no match for Audie right there on that one. Here comes a little token pressure by Molly on Vonick. Everything goes through Vonick.
8 points by Audie Crooks as Helgerson flips it. Gets it to Rognes. Rognes crossing the lane, turning back outside. As she gets it to, or not Steeny, I beg your pardon, Reddick. Reddick heading left around the perimeter. Golden Bears back off to the foul line. Charging inside Rognes. Capacious gets back in front. The jumper is missed. Sailing in is Steeny. It's off her hands and out of bounds.
You know, Garrigan in this man-to-man defense doing a nice job making Lake Mills work for that shot. But Steeny is having a good game, moving those feet, and she's getting herself in position. That time, she almost gets the rebound away from Crooks there.
Molly Joyce will jog it across half court with 1:56 on the clock, surveying that 2-3 zone defense as Montag has it up top. She'll sidestep into a three-pointer and she banks it in. The bank is open as Zoe Montag makes a 3-point withdrawal, and it's 42-24.
She's a lefty, and lefties always have a little more luck when they're banking in shots from long range.
I guess that would actually be a deposit. Bad banking terminology on my part, as we have a whistle right now and a stoppage here as the referee heads to the scoring table.
I think there's a little shot clock discrepancy. I don't think the shot clock started right away. The official, Johnny on the spot, noticed it right away, stopped the game and said, hey, we got to run some time off that shot clock. It never started. And so Lake Mills is going to lose 4 seconds here off this possession and have to take it out on the side.
So 42-24 is the score right now. They have the clock figured out. Vonick passing it right to Brandenburg. Brandenburg crossing the foul line and flipping it left to Reddick. Reddick goes back to the right. 1:28 to go in the quarter, 42-24 Bishop Garrigan. Brandenburg comes around the screen, outside Reddick. Reddick looking for the baseline. Montag sticking on her like glue. A bullet inside is picked up by Rognes, and now we have a foul.
Yeah, that's going to be on Ashlyn Hovey. She put her arms all over. Boy, Zoe Montag hounding the Lake Mills opponents on defense. She's really stepped up her defense, and the shot clock was ticking down. If Hovey doesn't pick up that foul, turnover was new. Now they get a whole new shot clock here.
42-24 into the near corner to Reddick. Reddick heads towards the right and she backs up. Bounce pass up top, Vonick. Vonick looks inside and she'll back it up towards the half-court marking. 1:05 on the clock. Vonick to the left, spins right. Joyce stays in front. Vonick a jumper and Joyce tipped it on the way up. Molly Joyce a partial block, and now Audie Crooks will bring it up the court. The point guard Audie Crooks passing right to Montag for another three-pointer, but it rattles out. Crooks tried to tap it out, and this will be a foul.
That's an excellent defense there by Molly Joyce on Vonick when Vonick tried to create something offensively. Everything in the Lake Mills offense is going through Vonick, and she's fantastic at creating. But Molly Joyce is locking her down now, really slowing down the Lake Mills offensive attack.
Vonick will bring it across the timeline. 47 seconds on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock. They screen Joyce, but Joyce went underneath it and stayed with the play. Ball gets knocked away again, and Joyce picks it up. Joyce running up the court, Steeny pursuing. Joyce lays it up, and she got it. Had Steeny pursuing her hotly. She could hear the footsteps, but she makes it 44-24. Vonick comes up the far side of the court. Vonick, for burst of speed, gives it to Brandenburg in the corner. 23 seconds to go, and Brandenburg throws it out of bounds. Threw it behind Reddick. 21.5 seconds left to go. Helgeson comes back in. Brandenburg to the bench for Lake Mills. And the Golden Bears can milk it here for another shot as they lead it by 20 with 21 seconds to go.
You know, up 20 comfortably heading into halftime. This has been a great workout for especially Molly Joyce, Hadna Vanek. She's having a great game. Let's see if they work for the last shot here with 16 seconds left.
15 points by Molly Joyce. She'll dribble up top until someone comes to get her. Back to Hovey, now back to Joyce. Around the perimeter to Capacious. Bullets it over to Joyce. They screened it nicely. Inside to Crooks. Pivots between the double team. They'll wave it off because Crooks traveled.
Yeah, they're going to call Crooks for a travel. She disagrees with the call. I think the Garrigan crowd disagrees with the call. The Lake Mills crowd loves the call. Just one of those 50-50. The official says he saw travel. Now, Crooks does that footwork. She splits her body right in between two defenders that are sandwiching her, and actually does a really impressive job maneuvering through to get that bucket. Whether she traveled or not is the referee's decision, but Lake Mills is going to have 3 seconds to get a shot. Garrigan will not press.
And smart play by Vanek. She'll let the ball bounce a couple times before the clock starts. Vanek flips it up, and she misses at the buzzer. Lake Mills tried to milk the whole 3 seconds, but they could not get that final bucket before halftime, and the Golden Bears will go into the locker room up 44-24. We will take a timeout. We'll take a look at the first half stats and analysis coming up next on Hometown Radio, KLGA, and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Algona Livestock Sales. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic. Animals large and small, they love them all.
Signworks. For all your signage needs as well as printed shirts, caps, and jackets. Stop in or call 295-9544.
Style Salon. Your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong. Keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
Dump it. They do the dirty work so you don't have to.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Greg Penny and Company CPA, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Yemlin Builders and Apartments, quality apartments for rent, beauty and craftsmanship that will never go out of style.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
Time between Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills. It's the Golden Bears 44 and the Bulldogs 24. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner's Beanie Bodie, and Beanie, I'll tell you what, this gym was rocking. The crowd was going crazy. The roof was getting ready to blow off this place as Lake Mills got off to an early start in this game, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Actually, we're going to give your headset over to Coach Meister and talk about the boys' game here in just a second, as we are at halftime right now between Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills. Coach, thank you first of all for stopping by and giving us a few minutes of your time. Obviously, super exciting matchup coming up tonight. You guys in Lake Mills have oftentimes been two of the best teams in the top of Iowa West. Just overall, how are you scouting Lake Mills coming into the season?
Well, they've graduated a lot, so we think they're a little bit down. We're going to try and come out and hopefully set the pace. We don't seem to do that very well up here for whatever reason. So some of the scouting, you know, we watched a little bit of film from last year to see how the guys acted. Then we watched the game from this year, see how guys have changed. We've got our matchups picked and some defensive things we're going to do rotationally inside of our pack that see if we can make some guys uncomfortable tonight is the goal.
And Coach, this is a super interesting part of the schedule. Obviously, you played Newman Catholic a few nights ago. You have Lake Mills tonight. Newell is coming up right around the corner. How much is a stretch like this where you really get to play some good competition early in the season and find out where you are? Just energize the guys.
Well, the exciting thing this year is our demeanor's been totally different. Same group of guys back, basically, and from day one of practice, we practiced so much harder. They've gotten after the defense so much harder. That's kind of been our calling card. Rotation-wise, you know, trying to not let my guy take me off the dribble, making sure somebody's helping. I think our next step defensively is making adjustments on certain players that we're trying to stop or let shoot, and we got to rebound better. The other night, I thought against Newman, we weren't finding guys, even though some guys were bigger. You got to put a body on them, and then they kind of started leaking out. Guys weren't doing their assignment, getting back, understanding that that's what was happening to us. So I think we take care of those things tonight that we've worked on. It's a winnable game for us, and so is the Newell one. We feel really good going into that one. Now time will tell where we're at with it, but we're excited for them.
No doubt about it. And Coach, offensively, the team's been shooting really well on twos so far this season. The threes haven't quite gotten the drop yet. Just overall, how would you evaluate the shots your guys are taking?
I think for the most part, the threes have been good threes. We haven't taken just an absorbent amount of them. The first game against St. Ed's, it was glaringly obvious that we should pound it in the paint. So that game, we didn't take very many. We've got a few guys right now that haven't made many that have been shooting the ball very well in the game. They just kind of need to see one go in, and I think they're going to be fine. We like to go inside out on it. For the most part, we watched our film on that and talked about, okay, good shot, bad shot, where are you feeling with it? So I think we've talked about that. Keep shooting with confidence. And the better we run through our offense with pace and reversing the ball, what we like to do, I think those shots are going to start to fall once we get more comfortable taking more of those threes.
Well, Coach, as we wrap up here for today, what do you feel is going to be the biggest key for a Garrigan victory tonight?
We got to come out and set the pace defensively and kind of hit them in the mouth with that, because they're going to come out, same thing on their defense. They're going to run that 1-3-1 trap. They're going to be up in that press. We need to break that press and just come out and set the pace and be grittier than them. If somebody reaches on you, I hate when I watch a basketball game, the defensive guy's all over you, and you don't put the ball on the deck and try and go around it. So be more physical in those facets of the game that are really, even if you're not a basketball player and you're an athlete, you want to outcompete the guy, you're going to try and put the ball on the deck and get around him. It's a pretty simple thing to do. So that's what we've been talking about. Whether we do it or not, we're going to find out here in a little bit.
We will see. Well, Coach, best of luck tonight. Thank you very much for the time today.
All right, thanks for having me. Sorry I forgot, and I almost forgot at the end tonight. So the over-under on me right now, I don't know where we're at. It can't be good.
You're batting 500 right now, Coach, so baseball would love that. So
all right,
thanks
that's
again,
fair.
Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that is head coach Mark Meister getting us ready for the Bishop Garrigan boys game coming up after the conclusion of the girls game. So we will transition the headset back over the beanie. Here's the band plays. I hear splitting levels in the background.
Yeah, this
Beanie,
band
can you
is
hear
rocking.
me all right after that?
The choir had a nice rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and the band here is rocking. It looks like they got 50 members strong here in this Lake Mills band, so hats off to the Lake Mills music program. Doing a nice job over there. Lake Mills, a little bigger school. They got a solid 23 girls in their basketball roster. I counted if I made the correct overlapping adjustments, but Garrigan coming in with 14 girls on their roster. So Lake Mills comes out strong. They got ferocious energy. Those bench players, they were fired up. Every team really wants to go out and take on Crooks. They know she's going to Iowa State to play ball. They know Molly Joyce is going to Truman State to play ball. And they know this Garrigan is a defending state champ. So, the cliche is you got a target on your back, right? So I don't know if these girls have a target on their back. I don't think there's anything like they're trying to take down the other team, but everybody wants to play their best against Garrigan, and they do for the beginning of the game. But the Garrigan team is going to wear you down with their skill and their effectiveness, and we see it there as they've racked up 44 points there at halftime, on pace to score 88 and holding Lake Mills to 24. And Lake Mills did that right off the bat with some great shooting. They were in double digits with 2 minutes to go in the game. Vonnick is an impressive guard, I think, Tyler.
She's a very impressive guard, as right now Vonnick leads the way with 10 points for Lake Mills. It's Molly Joyce with 15 for Bishop Garrigan, as she is the Golden Bear leading scorer. And Beanie, when I saw that in the opening game, Lake Mills had fallen to Newman Catholic 82-80 in overtime, I said, how in the world did Lake Mills score 80 points? I now understand how they were able to do that. They're getting great shots on offense. Vonnick is really triggering everything. And I mean, Steenie as well has been incredibly impressive. Their 6-foot-tall post player has hit a couple nice jumpers over the top of Crooks. I can see why they scored 80 points against a smaller Newman Catholic team. And, this is not going to be a bad offense for Lake Mills. They have 4 or 5 starters back. Obviously, it's tough sledding against a good defensive team in Garrigan once the Golden Bears made some adjustments. But I can kind of see where Lake Mills is going with this. I like what they're building.
I do like what they're building. And for sure, if you're going to score 80 points, you've got some talent out there. And Vonnick, being a good distributor of the ball, has been able to find open teammates, and they've knocked down the shots. As long as you have a guard that can handle the ball and find open players, your basketball team's going to be in decent shape, because even a team that shoots poorly can knock down those bunnies if you get that ball close enough to the hoop, and Vonick can definitely do that. You know, Garrigan, we're playing that man-to-man defense. They've gone from almost exclusively a 2-3 defense in the past to now they like to play a little man-to-man there at the Bishop Garrigan girl defense. And as they play man-to-man against Lake Mills, Vonick is able to penetrate the lane a little bit, draw some defenders, and then dish to open shooters. You know, if Garrigan goes back to a 2-3, that might be a little bit easier for them to defend. But Coach Schwab, you know, it makes no bones about it. He is trying to make his team better any which way he can, and that means putting them to a test, trying new things. That's why, you know, he had no problem weathering that storm in the first quarter, see how his team responds, and make them play man-to-man against this good guard. And Molly Joyce did that, stepped up, and played Vonick sensationally in that second quarter.
Well, that is a great point, and every game you can go into it and just play to your strengths all the time and never try to adjust anything or try anything new, but that's not going to result in a state championship for Bishop Garrigan if they do that. He tried to make his team uncomfortable last season, and once again, Coach Schwab is trying to put his team in as many uncomfortable spots as possible this year as well and see how they grow out of it. So you've got the gym rocking here in Lake Mills. They got off to a good early start, but Golden Bears have weathered the storm, and now they are pulling away up 44-24 as we head into the third quarter here on Hometown Radio, KLGA Algona. So second half coming up for the Golden Bears. I guess, what's the number one thing you want to see from the Golden Bears in half number two to, you know, consider this a productive night and a productive second half?
I want to see them come out of this halftime break with the energy that the Lake Mills girls came out to start the first half of this game with. You know, Garrigan has the lead comfortably in hand, but I want to see them make a statement here this first 5 minutes coming out of halftime of gameplay, and really ratchet their offense, keep their defense up, but let's see some points rain down.
So Golden Bears will start with the basketball. They will head from right to left on your radio dial. Beginning the third quarter, it is a 20-point Bishop Garrigan advantage right now after a little bit of a shaky start there for the burst. About 7 minutes of the ball game. Hobie has it on the left wing, comes to Joyce in the near corner. Passes it inside to Crooks, misses off the glass, gets her own miss, and she cleans it up and scores.
Oh, great job by Audie setting up the defense. She hung out there on the far side of the court, did some nifty footwork, spun around the bottom of the defense, really sneaking around, gets herself open. She had to work hard to get open against three people.
Crooks had 30 points and 11 rebounds on 15 of 15 shooting against Newman Catholic. It's not going to be a 15 of 15 night tonight as she's missed a few and she's taken a few jumpers. Sidestepping is Helgeson, passing to the left to Ava Moen. Moen was not in the starting lineup tonight, but she will start the second half in the Lake Mills 5 here as Vonick rolls towards the baseline, pushes it up to the right hand and misses. Now Capacious has it. Capacious coming three-quarter speed into the front court, dishes to Joyce. Joyce to the bucket, and she got pushed from behind and fouled.
Joyce has hit the floor so many times in her career. She hits the floor with skill. That times she gets her hands out and catches herself and pops right back up. As a freshman, she used to go crashing into the wall and spilling all over the floor. That's experience there for you. You know, Crooks, you can see from here, sporting some bruises on those arms. You know, she gets double-teamed, triple-teamed all year. It's a long season of endurance here in high school basketball, the longest of all the seasons in high school. You've got to weather some serious storm.
Yes, and that winter break right in the middle of the season really splits it up and drags things out, and it's nice to recharge and work and practice during that time, but you're right, the basketball season, definitely the longest of the seasons, and you have to be able to withstand that as a player. As right now, 1 minute into the third quarter, it's 48-24 Bishop Garrigan. Vonick has it up top as she passes left to Helgeson. Helgeson, the senior who averaged 7 points a game last year, dishes right to Brandenburg. Brandenburg gets the screen from Moen and heads left, has space but passes to Vonick on the left wing. They'll screen Joyce. Joyce comes underneath, and Vonick will run into traffic and she'll back it back out. 7 seconds on the clock, inside to Moen. Moen against Crooks, puts it off the glass, it sits on the rim and drops off. And now here comes Crooks. Crooks striding into the front court, and her pocket is picked by the quicker Vonick. Now here comes Vonick sprinting to the bucket, puts it wildly off the glass, no good, but offensive board for Helgeson. And then it's taken right out of her hands by Montag. Now Joyce, stop and pop three-pointer, and it rattles off as Steeny sails in for the rebound, and then Capacious hacks her.
Yeah, Capacious picks up an unnecessary foul there. Thought maybe she could swipe that ball, but she clearly had a wraparound easy call by the official. You know, Garrigan playing some good man-to-man defense there. Joyce manned up Vonick, and when they ran a screen, Montag was right there to help her. That's good team defense Garrigan developing here.
Golden Bears right now with a 48-24 advantage as Vonick looks for room, steps back against Joyce. Oh, and she sticks the jumper. Great move to create space by Vonick as she buried that shot. Now Joyce lobs it high to Crooks, knocked from behind by Steeny. Crooks got it though, off the glass, no. Misses, knocked out of bounds, and it will stay at Bishop Garrigan. I'll tell you what, this is good for Audie Crooks. Steeny is not backing down to her at all in this game, and Crooks has had some very contested looks, we'll say.
Yeah, she's getting pounded down there, and Crooks knew Steeny wasn't going to back down. They're both seniors. They've played against each other forever here.
Capacious ducks underneath, dishes to Hovey, and Hovey got fouled. Capacious just kind of ducked right underneath the arm of Ava Moen, found the cutting Hovey, and Hovey will shoot 2 here.
You know, game in and game out, not everyone's always going to have their best game. You know, that's why this is a good team sport. Now Hovey gets to the line, just catches the front end of the rim. A good practice shot. You don't see Ashlyn Hovey getting to the free throw line, but a couple times she got there in some huge moments last year and sunk those free throws in the late season.
Yes, Hovey attempts 88% of her shots from three-point range as she misses that foul shot, so you're not going to get fouled too often on three-pointers.
Well, she misses at that time, and, you know, Coach Swab, we see some shots missing from in close. You know, I know the girls lifted weights yesterday. I just happened to be in the school watching some lower level stuff, and perhaps they lifted pretty hard yesterday, and sometimes it takes your arms a little while to recover if you're a shooter.
5:35 on the clock. Sidestepping is Vonik. 3-ball swirls out of the drain, and Crooks has the rebound. Yeah, lifting is definitely a major key to basketball, and it's such a balancing act. You don't want to overlift and mess up your shot, but at the same time, you need to be strong, you need to be physical, as it's outside to Joyce. Joyce looking for space, lob inside to Crooks, catches the rainbow, scores it, and she got fouled.
Well, you can see Crooks has a look of relief on her face there. You know, she is sometimes easy to read, sometimes hard. You can tell she's a little bit flustered tonight, but there she gets the lob. Nice pass from Joyce, and Audie makes it look easy with people draped on her.
And Crooks drains the foul shot. She has been shooting great from the foul line so far this season, as Crooks now has 13 points. But just using that great wingspan to collect the pass. Let me ask you this. What do you think Audie Crooks' wingspan is? And I ask that knowing that I don't know the answers to the question.
That's a great question. Your wingspan is almost usually the exact same as your height, except if you're an NBA player or a big-time college player. So if Audie's 6'3", I'd say her wingspan is 6'4".
I think that's a fair guess. I've been trying to find out that information. Now, Joyce brings it into the front court, and Joyce carried it, I believe. Or did she?
No, they're going to call a carry.
Wow, Joyce is confounded right now.
And Coach Swab wants an explanation, or maybe it's a 10-second. Oh, because he was watching. She just took too long, and he said he was watching the shot clock, and it was already down to 25 seconds. The shot clock restarts at 35, so I think the referee was doing some math and say, hey, this was 25 seconds, has gone off the clock. And because now you have that benefit of the shot clock. And Coach Schwab is saying, well, no, wait, if the shot clock starts as soon as the ball goes through the rim, we didn't actually inbound it yet. So the 10 count should start after we inbound it, not after it goes through the rim.
That was a good interpretation of a confusing situation. 51-26, Lake Mills has the basketball anyways coming out of it. Crooks inside of that long wingspan that you've estimated to be 6'4", as Vonik heads around the perimeter. Fought about the three, but fought better of it as she gets it over to Brandenburg. Now the question is, what do you think my wingspan is? As Brandenburg drives in, comes out to Vonik. Vonik from the baseline shoots a jumper, and she missed it. It's tapped out to Steeny. Steeny tracks it down, and Vonik collects it. I need another estimate, Mr. Science Teacher. It's blocked inside, but a foul against Crooks, and she can't believe it.
Wow, Crooks is shocked and appalled by that call. Steeny getting the benefit of that one. That was a fun one. Now she's laughing it off. All right, well, I'm not going to laugh about your wingspan. Tyler, I think your wingspan, I'm looking at you right now, I think you're probably 5'10". I think your wingspan's probably 5'10".
That was disrespectful.
No.
Not even close.
No, Tyler, that means you're normal. All right, what is it? What is it?
I am 6 feet tall, right on the dot, and my wingspan is a robust 6 feet 2 inches, I've discovered.
Oh,
Very
wow.
recently, in fact.
Why did you become a cross-country runner? You should be out there on the basketball court.
Foul shot missed by Steeny as Capacious rebound. Score still 51-26.
Then I'm going to say Crooks has got a 6'6" wingspan.
I sense some shade coming my way. I'll tell you what, basketball coaches who are listening out there, as Joyce shoots a corner pocket three but left it short. If you want a high motor guy with no skills but a good wingspan, I'm your dude. As Crooks scores from inside the lane, and it's 53-26 as Crooks now has 15 points.
All right, well, so that woke up Audie Crooks, that foul call. Now she is encouraging the team. She's talking on defense. She's directing defense like the captain that she is.
Lake Mills right now with just 2 points in the second half. 53-26 is the Bishop Garrigan advantage. Golden Bears right now 9-2 scoring edge in the third quarter. Vonik gets tripped, and they will call that against Capacious, kind of hip-checking her there.
Yeah, Abby Capacious is a physical player. Vonick has a step of quickness on her. Abby gets her with the hip. Referee right there, call that blocking foul.
53-26 from the baseline. It's Brandenburg. Brandenburg getting it into the far corner to Helgeson, who passes up the three, wants to drive against Capacious, crossing the lane, hooks it up with the right hand and got it at a crazy angle.
That was a crazy shot. I should have noted that Garrigan has switched back to the 2-3 defense, so now those shots are going to be created by those guards driving to the hoop, and in that case, throwing up an awkward shot.
Olish has it up top. She's by herself, but she comes up to Joyce. Joyce has a great look, and the three ball pops in. It rattled around the drain and dropped to make it 56-28.
Oh, what a soft touch there by Joyce. I thought that was going to bounce hard off the iron, but the senior's got such a nice touch.
Driving inside, scooping it up as Vonick. Good defense by Joyce, not the foul, and here come the Golden Bears, and they will shoot it past Bartolo and out of bounds. Little off target there for the QB1 as it'll be a turnover back to Lake Mills.
Well, the freshman Bartolo has some speed, but she would have had to been Speedy Gonzalez to catch up with that ball. That was a rocket thrown by Capacious.
2:43 and ticking left in the third quarter. Madison Edwards, the senior coming off the bench, has the basketball right now. They'll screen Olish. Edwards heads to the right and gives it to Brandenburg. Brandenburg crossing the lane, sees Crooks and avoids Crooks. Up top is Helgeson. She sidesteps and gets it right to Edwards. 13 on the shot clock. Back over to Vonick. Vonick has some room. Joyce tries to close. Three-pointer is missed, though, as it rattles off, and Bartolo grabs the rebound. And then she throws it right to Vonick. Vonick to the bucket, and she lays it in.
That was, the freshman was doing her job. She got a rare rebound. She's the shortest player on the floor. She gets a rebound. She's like, well, find the point guard. And Vonick knew exactly what the freshman was doing, and she just stepped in front of Joyce and picked off the pass.
Yeah, Bartolo 5-5 getting a rebound as Crooks pivoting, using the foot, goes up and under and missed it. Crooks taps it, and it's picked up by Vonick. Vonick on the push, lobs it to Helgeson, but she sailed it out of her reach and out of bounds.
Crooks is smiling again. She just worked real hard, did some good old school footwork to create that shot, and did all that work, and it bounces around and out. And good job by her not to pick up a foul, and she is rallying her team again. She wants to see some performance here.
56-30 is the Garrigan advantage. Bartolo to the high post to Crooks. Olish up top. She'll sidearm it back to Bartolo. Into Crooks in the sandwich. It got knocked away, but right to Olish. Outside Joyce. She'll shoot another three. She'll hit another three. Molly Joyce making it rain here at Lake Mills High School as she's up to 22 points, and she's been hitting those threes tonight. Stepping back is Vonick for a jumper. It trickles off the bottom of the net, no good, and Capacious has it. Outlet to Bartolo, one dribble, and she got fouled as Edwards ran into her from behind.
You know, Garrigan, this team's really communicating well. Crooks directing traffic out there. The freshmen know their spacing really well. That last possession, Sasha Alice, top of the key, knows her cousin Molly Joyce is in that wing, and they just calmly move that ball around until they get Molly Joyce to sink that three. Emmy Bartolo nails the free throw, really coming along fast.
Bartolo, interestingly, led Bishop Garrigan in assists against Newman Catholic. I was talking about this with Coach Schwab in the pregame. Golden Bears just have such a good passing team. Everyone just has great vision of the court. They can find the players who are cutting to the basket as Joyce offensive rebounds the missed foul shot. It's not just Joyce doing the only one distributing, as she'll shoot a heat check three off the back of the rim. Could not create enough space for that one, and Bishop Garrigan holds on to a 60-30 lead as here comes Vonick. Slams the gas pedal, misses at the rack. It is rebounded by Wogstead as Vonick backs it into the corner. Vonick crossing the lane, floats it up to the right, and Crooks rebounds. Crooks has the outlet to Olish. It's off of Olish's hands. It's knocked out of bounds, and that was off of Helgeson, who caught up to the play.
All right, good outlet pass. Garrigan trying to get some easy buckets, sending the speedsters down the floor. Crooks and company get the rebound and just chuck it down there. But, boy, got to be impressed with Vonick's handles on offense. That was some incredible ball handling she did in that last possession for Lake Mills.
Crooks inside, banging between three defenders. She put it down, and she got fouled. Audie Crooks makes it 62-30 Bishop Garrigan. She's up to 17.
Another time she's triple teamed, and she uses her position. She gets through there, puts up the bucket, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop her. You got to call that foul because they're blocking her, and they're banging into her. But if you're the Lake Mills fan, you just say, well, this is not fair anyway. We're hitting her, and she still just goes through us for the layup, and we call for the foul. But by rule, I mean, they're definitely picking up that blocking foul.
Crooks hits another foul shot, and it's 63-30. Crooks was 54.5% from the foul line last year. She's got to be about 90% so far this season. She has not missed tonight from the charity stripe. Bartolo getting poked at by Helgeson as she flips it right to Montag. Montag into Crooks, going to work in the post, comes outside Hovey. Quick pass Bartolo and then back into Crooks. Crooks to the right, dishing outside to Alish. 19 on the game clock, and we have a foul. Montag and Helgeson got tied up, and this is going to go against Helgeson.
Helgeson made a break on the ball, thought she had a clean steal, but Montag did a nice job of sealing her off like a receiver in football. Turned her body, caught that ball, and forces the foul call.
Hovey inbounds it to Crooks from the center of the lane. Fades back for the jumper and misses it left as Steeney reaches up for the rebound. Steeney averaged 8 boards a game last year, number 4 on the top of Iowa West as Bartolo with the quick hands has the steal, picked the pocket, and then Bartolo got it knocked out of bounds off the hands of Vonnek with 4 seconds to go. 4 seconds left. Hovey to set the play in motion from the far side of the court. The entirety of the Lake Mills crowd staring down her back. Lob inside to Crooks, catches it again, scores it off the glass. Easy money for Ashlyn Hovey, and that will bring an end to the third quarter. 65-30 is the Bishop Garrigan advantage. They add to their lead at Lake Mills High School as we head to the final 8 minutes of action. It's coming your way next on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
It is Bishop Garrigan 65, Lake Mills 30 as the Golden Bears try to secure their 41st straight top of Iowa West win. It was a little dicey early on, but the Golden Bears pulled away in the second and third quarters, a 21-6 scoring edge in the third. Beanie, what's standing out to you about the Golden Bears right now?
Well, I was impressed to see that they held Lake Mills to 6 points in that third quarter. Lake Mills coming out of half clearly was going to have some energy and some strategy. Garrigan shut them down.
Vonnek looking for space, Joyce poking at it. Vonnek and Joyce have put on a display of being a point guard tonight. No doubt about it as 7:45 remains in this ball game. Helgeson comes around the screen, flashes across the foul line, dives past Crooks, misses high off the window, and Capacious grabs another rebound. Capacious with 6 points, but she has rebounded a ton tonight, and now she feeds Crooks for an assist. 67-30. Golden Bears have made a concerted effort in the second half to get it inside to Crooks on nearly every possession. Helgeson into Steeney in the post, shoots fading back, and Crooks bottled that shot enough that it missed to the left. Offensive board back outside Edwards. Her three misses right. Capacious saves it before it goes out of bounds. Flips it up to Hovey. Hovey crossing half court. Comes to the far side to Bartolo. Bartolo sidearms it into Crooks. It's a little behind her though, and it's picked up. Vonnek sprinting the other way. Vonnek blows past Montag and lays it in.
Good fast-paced action by Lake Mills, pushing that tempo, creating a bucket for the Garrigan defense can get back. You know, the last possession, Steeney and Audie Crooks were kind of sharing a laugh. You got to appreciate the fact that these two girls have played basketball against each other for 4 years now and going to graduate here as seniors. Both very successful athletes in their high schools.
Into the near corner to Montag, lets it rip on a three. Oh, and it popped out of the drain. It rattled a couple times. Another offense board for Capacious as she falls and misses. And now here comes Lake Mills. Vonnek shoots an in-rhythm three-pointer. It deflects off to the right and heads out of bounds back to Bishop Garrigan. I'll tell you what, Capacious has grabbed a ton of offensive boards tonight, but the follow has just not been there for the junior.
No, her shots just haven't been kind of off tonight, and you got to be able to expect that as an athlete. Thankfully, you get to play 20 games. You can afford to have a bad one as long as you're on a really good team, but I think there's going to be a lot of Garrigan girls that will not be quite happy with the game that they played tonight.
I think rebounding-wise has been a great night for Capacious, but like you said, offensively just has not been able to knock down the shots as Joyce will try to knock down one. Misses on a three ball. Capacious collides, and it's picked up by Rogstead as she and Capacious bumped, but Rogstead got to the ball first. And now here comes Vonnek. Vonnek sidestepping, three-point ball, left it a little short, and Crooks snares another rebound. Crooks earlier tonight crossing the 1,000 rebound threshold in her career. By far number 1 in Garrigan history.
Garrigan's been pushing the tempo. Coach Schwab comes out and says, let's slow it down, but too late. Lake Mills steals the pass.
Algerson jumps it and she runs, turns all the way around in the far corner. She gives it to Edwards, and then it's taken away by Joyce. She's had a few of those tonight. Joyce weaving into the front court, stops, floats, and she scores. Molly Joyce hung in the air for what seemed like forever, and she buried that to give her 24 points.
She did. Now, years ago, Molly Joyce would have taken that hard to the hoop, maybe picked up a foul charge or flying into the wall. That time, that nice floater sinks it right in.
And the 3-ball rattles out. Crooks outlets up to Joyce. Here she comes. Joyce lays it up to the right, and she missed it right at the rack. Oh, you don't see that every day. It's shoveled back into play by Helgeson. It volleyballs around. Montag Montag did touch it last, and it will go back to Lake Mills.
Montag hustled all the way down the floor. Look, Joyce with the speed's getting the run out, and Montag could have chose to be lazy and wait to go back on defense, but she hustled all the way down the floor. Joyce misses it. Montag gets the rebound, and boy, was really fighting for that loose ball. Just couldn't quite come up with it. Good hustle.
Lake Mills bringing it into the front court. As we mentioned earlier, the Bulldogs are coached by Beth Van Rokel. She was a great player at Lake Mills in her high school playing days, as she scored over 1,100 career points, which at the time was the school record. Navigating the baseline is Vonik, and she stepped out of bounds to give it back to Bishop Garrigan. But I'll tell you what, Beanie, she had an engaging pregame interview with me earlier today. She gave me way more time than I probably deserved to have, but she was great. You can tell she has just a ton of energy for her program.
Yeah.
She's super excited to be back here at the high school she went to, and her second coaching stint actually at Lake Mills, and definitely bringing the energy as Crooks scores inside, and now she has 25. Make that 24.
Is kind of her, and I will give it to her. They're getting pounded here, 71-32, and she's been on her feet the whole time and is still encouraging that team to keep trying their best.
Inside, a miss by Lake Mills, and here comes Capacious on the push. Capacious left of the bucket, lays it up, missed it. Looked like she went with the right hand that time and had it at an odd angle. Now here's Helgeson the other way. It's poked away from behind by Bartolo.
Yeah, we've got a good pace here going. There's some bodies hit the floor. Molly Joyce hit the floor real hard a moment ago. She's getting a breather on the bench. Hopefully she's not too banged up. After she had that layup attempt, she got hit pretty hard to the floor. And Alish, Bartolo, Montag, Crooks, and Capacious are the 5 in the game at this point.
3:05 on the clock, into the far corner, Vonik. She'll try her luck on a three-pointer, but it's a little bit off the front of the rim. Steeny knocks the rebound away, and it's batted over to Vonik. Offensive board for Lake Mills with 2:55 left, and Crooks blocks a foul line jumper as she laughs and heads up the court. Capacious outlets to Crooks. She will lay it up, and she'll lay it in as Reddick went blowing by.
Yeah, that was a good shot creation by Vonik, but there's that wingspan of Crooks coming in. She thought she could shoot over the top. Oh, nice pass by Vonik.
Wow, Vonik threw that almost half the court.
She saw Rongstad underneath the hoop and threw a bullet pass to her for an easy layup. Great hustle by the Lake Mills team.
Montag flips it to Crooks in the high post of 2:26 left. Crooks spinning, kicking it out to Alish. Alish shoots a three off the front of the rim, and Steeny taps the rebound away.
Crooks, nice spin move, finds the open shooter on the three. She had Capacious in the short corner. You can never forget about Abby Capacious. She's really good moving without that ball.
One other thing Coach Van Rokel told me that was interesting, she was a former player, obviously, at Lake Mills. She played at Waldorf in college, as Steeny has it on the baseline. But she'll go into practice, and she will run drills against the players as Vonik shoots a three. She is capping off a very nice night. Vonik of 19 points, but she'll go there. She'll be physical. She'll really test her players in the drills by doing it herself and going up against them, as Montag leaves a three ball short. It heads out of bounds and goes back to Lake Mills.
Yeah, you can sign Vonik up for the all-conference team already. She's got some great handles. She sees the floor well. She's a great teammate. Crooks and Capacious come out to a round of applause from the Garrigan team. It's 73-37 as we flip-flop the numbers there, but got to hand it to Lake Mills. Garrigan had 44 at the half, and it looks like they're going to prevent them from getting 88. So they did a nice job in that second half. They've made some progress tonight and some success against this Garrigan team. They're going to have a nice season in this conference, I believe, Lake Mills is.
So Golden Bears have emptied the bench, and now here's a knockaway, and here comes Bishop Garrigan. Up the court with the basketball, it's Alyssa Hoagland. Golden Bears will try three, and that will miss as Lake Mills tracks down the rebound. Just over a minute left in this one. Ball knocked away again.
Reagan Murphy gets the steal, hands it off to Alice. Here she comes.
Out to Bartolo. Bartolo will shoot a three. That is off the back of the rim, and it is rebounded by the Bulldogs with 52 seconds left to go. 73-37 is the Bishop Garrigan advantage. They will march on towards a solid start to the season, 3-1. 40 seconds left in this one. Lake Mills has it out top. With the basketball, it's Reddick. Reddick comes over to the right to Bailey Dogstead. Dogstead bounces it towards the near corner with 31 seconds left to go. To the foul line to Emma Taft. Taft will shoot a jumper and she'll swish it.
That'll get the crowd going. Oh, he loves to see those reserves get in the game and swish a bucket.
Shot clock is off right now. Golden Bears can trickle away the final 15 seconds in this game as Alish flips it over to the left to Bartolo. 73-39. Don't forget, we've got the boys game coming up. Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills in a big early season top of Iowa West showdown as well. Alish up at half court. Final seconds ticking away, and that is it. Bishop Garrigan weathers the early storm, and they pull away to a 73-39 victory. They have their 41st straight win in the top of Iowa West, and they open up top of Iowa West play with a bang tonight as Audie Crooks scores 26 points, and Molly Joyce has 24 as well for the Golden Bears. Players shake hands at midcourt as we'll take a quick timeout. We will come back. We'll have the preview of the boys' game and a couple quick final stats of the girls' game coming up next on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
With today's technology, there's no reason to wait by the mailbox for bank statements. Just sign up for internet banking and e-statements. This is Sherry at Security State Bank. E-statements reduce the risks of mail fraud and identity theft. Internet banking allows you to check your balances, see checks and deposits that have cleared, transfer funds between accounts, make payments, and say goodbye to paper filing and shredding. Internet banking and e-statements from Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With over a decade of experience, Jake Ingalls Electric is here to handle any electrical job you could possibly have. From anything agricultural related to complex commercial wiring to something simple like installing a new outlet in your home, Jake Ingalls Electric does it all. Have your wiring done right and call Jake at 515-320-4286. Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
We are back to wrap it up for game number 1 of our basketball doubleheader from Lake Mills. The boys game coming up next, but first we'll talk about the girls game here and wrap it up as Bishop Garrigan defeats the Bulldogs by a final score of 73-39. Scoring-wise, it was Audie Crooks with 26 and Molly Joyce with 24 for Bishop Garrigan. Taylor Vonnick scored 19 points for Lake Mills as she has been at 16 or higher in every game so far in this young season. Lake Mills now drops to 0-3, a tough start to the season, but I'll tell you what, Beanie, they came out, they gave Bishop Garrigan something to think about in the first quarter, and now Golden Bears will move on to the next one, but they'll definitely have a few things to work with film-wise and improvement-wise coming out of this one.
Yeah, for sure. I was really impressed with Lake Mills' ball handling ability. They moved the ball really well, much quicker than the other ball movement that Garrigan has seen. You know, and if you're a defense, you get worn down by that quick ball movement. You got to hand it to Vonnick with excellent handles on the ball. Good job of finding her teammates. They had the height inside by Steeny. They had some physicality, and you know, they created some early hurdles for Bishop Garrigan. You kind of knew it wouldn't last with the talent that Garrigan has on their team, and just Lake Mills couldn't sustain that against the powerhouse Bears coming in as the ranked team in the state. But a very fun game to watch. Boy, the gym was full of energy, and both teams, I thought, played with a lot of heart and a lot of energy. There's a lot of sweat and a lot of bodies hitting the floor. And Garrigan made the adjustments when they needed. I like the way Coach Schwab let them play through some adversity there. They're not going to see a ton of adversity. You know, he's scheduling some hard games for them. They went up to Twin Cities and played one of the top teams in the nation. They're going to play a couple good teams down the road on their schedule, but you know, they got a lot of talent, the Bears do. They're their own enemy. Like, when they hit the floor, they're either going to play their best game and roll, or they're not going to play so great. And then they got to, even if they win, they're going to go home disappointed. You know, so it's going to be a challenge for those girls to come into the gym every night when they know they're probably going to win against some of these teams and still be able to perform their best. And so far, I think they're doing a good job of doing that.
So Bishop Garrigan picks up their 12th straight win over Lake Mills in this series. 73-39 is the final score. Well, it's a big boys game coming up. We'll see if Bishop Garrigan can dust themselves off after a loss to Newman Catholic as the Golden Bears challenge Lake Mills, the two-time defending top of Iowa West champion, in our second game of the doubleheader. We'll take a timeout for a couple minutes. Before we do that, quick thank you to our video streaming sponsors, including Algona State Farm Insurance agent Billy Offerman, Algona Municipal Utilities, High Endeavors, and Kemna Auto Center, all making video streaming possible here on the Algona Radio YouTube page. We'll take a timeout and we will preview the boys game coming up on Hometown Radio KLGA.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these sports club members.
American Glass, for all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Jason Brace, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, where community connects.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
Dump it. They do the dirty work so you don't have to.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Greg Penny and Company CPA, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Yemlin Builders and Apartments, quality apartments for rent, beauty and craftsmanship that will never go out of style.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Iowa did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
With over a decade of experience, Jake Ingalls Electric is here to handle any electrical job you could possibly have. From anything agricultural related to complex commercial wiring to something simple like installing a new outlet in your home, Jake Ingalls Electric does it all. Have your wiring done right and call Jake at 515-320-4286. Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Reeb's Wicked Good Bar and Grill. For wicked good food, drinks, and service, you gotta go to Reeb's.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
Dump it. They do the dirty work so you don't have to.
Albert Electric. Flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Greg Penny and Company CPA, certified public accountants, where everyone counts.
Yemlin Builders and Apartments, quality apartments for rent, beauty and craftsmanship that will never go out of style.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All sponsors of this broadcast.
We get set for game number 2 of our basketball doubleheader. A huge matchup between the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and the Lake Mills Bulldogs. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie. And Beanie, I think this game is going to say a lot about the state of the top of Iowa West early in this basketball season.
Yes, Garrigan has some tough games to start off the beginning of the season with. They just saw a 22-2 Newman team from last year, and they're right back into it at Lake Mills, who's been to the state tournament at least 3 times in the last 4 years. A fantastic program here going at Lake Mills. So talk about some challenging basketball for the Garrigan boys team right off the bat in the season, yes. And this game will definitely pave the way in the conference for everyone else to see, all right, who's good and where do we match up.
And everyone in the conference right now is asking, how good is Lake Mills this season? Because like you said, they've been to state 3 years in a row, but most of that core is gone. They only bring back one starter from last year. That is Denton Kingland. And now a lot of reserves are coming into their new role. Now, you've heard the name Helming, you've heard the name Bacon, and I've got bad news for the rest of the top Iowa West. There's a new Helming and a new Bacon, and they're coming into the Lake Mills starting lineup. But we're going to see how they respond and if they can live up to their older counterparts and carry that mantle and bring Lake Mills to another title.
Right, I'm sure those young men can play. We've seen them play JV over the years, so they'll be familiar foes for the Garrigan team. But go back to Denton Kingland. If you're going to have to start another great team at Lake Mills, he's a great one to start around. He handles the ball really well, not afraid to take it into the lane, got a nice pull-up jump shot, and he's a very smart player and distributes the ball well. So anytime you have a guard like that to build your team around, they're going to be a solid team. On the flip side, Garrigan has a ton of experience coming back from last year. 4 seniors out there in that starting lineup with a lot of minutes behind them, and they work well together. We'll see how they match up against this Lake Mills team. It's going to be an exciting game.
No doubt about it. Bishop Garrigan coming off an exciting game against Newman Catholic. They were tied 30-30 at halftime before things got away a little bit in the second half, but that's a Newman Catholic team that has state aspirations, and really they're facing another team of state aspirations today. Now Lake Mills did move up to Class 2A, so it's a little bit of a different situation this year, but this is a great stretch of the schedule for Bishop Garrigan to test themselves. Newman Catholic last Thursday, Lake Mills tonight, Newell Fonda coming to town a couple of days from tonight on Thursday night. So a Golden Bear team that has a lot of their young pieces returning from last year. They have that season of playing together underneath their belt and really trying to develop just that cohesion offensively and really elevate themselves among the leaders in the top of Iowa West.
Yeah, it's a long season, and so there's going to be some bumps and bruises for both these teams earlier in the season. But boy, what a good early season matchup. Good for these Golden Bears with that experience to come and face this Lake Mills team before they get all the machine working and the gears in place. Same thing when they catch that Newman team. I would sure love to see Garrigan pick up a win here earlier in the season, give them some confidence, and I'm sure Coach Menke and the Lake Mills Bulldogs would like to pick up an early win against a quality opponent as well. So Tyler, I got something here. We're starting my first ever theme night here if we're doing the transition on the broadcast and you let our people see our ugly mugs. You just completed one of your best races in your life. Most people watching know you're a runner, and you run like a deer, and we just have deer season. So tonight's theme, we're going to make you put on some deer
ears.
Some
deer antlers?
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, there they go.
This is the deer. You got to learn how to put them on. That is the theme for the night. I was worried you might wear those antlers out running this weekend because you would have had some trouble because there were hunters everywhere. But Tyler just came off a great run. You're one of your best runs ever in the 8K, former collegiate runner. That's pretty awesome, Tyler. Wait till next week's theme. It's going to be even better. But we'll start things off with the deer here. Now, speaking of running like a deer, how fast do you think the tempo of this game is going to go? I know that Lake Mills team, they can move the ball. Denton Kingland is fast. He moves the ball. Jack Grengenet, he's for the Bears. He is fast. I think this game is going to go up and down in a hurry. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep track, spitting out the words in this broadcast.
Well, the interesting thing about this game is I feel these teams both have the capability of playing very fast, but I also feel they both have the capability of slowing the game down if they wanted to. Now, the question is, do they want to? And I think the answer to that is probably no. I mean, slowing the game down would probably look like for Bishop Garrigan, banging Drew Fogarty inside, getting Logan Nemmer some post-ups and really playing the half-court game. I don't necessarily think we're going to see a ton of that. And really on the Lake Mills side, you've got Bacon, you've got Helming. They're both very physical players, but like you said, they'll move fast. They might press a little bit. I think it's going to be a fast game. Both teams are going to want that early, quick pace, and we could see a game that's played really in the 70s tonight.
You know, I don't know if the coaches are going to be able to get a handle on both these teams. You got these young players, you got these, they might just want to get out and run early in the season. I think you're going to have a lot of testosterone on the floor. I think these teams might just want to get out and get after each other. I'm not quite sure the coaches are going to be able to slow them down even if they tried. But we shall see. You know, Garrigan had some success when they were pushing the tempo against Mason City Newman. They created some easy buckets. They also had some success pounding it inside. So a lot of options for the Garrigan team. Anxious to see what Lake Mills' strong points are.
So it's early in the season. We'll see these two teams unleash the legs and let it fly pace-wise tonight as we are about 3 minutes away from basketball action. Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills. It's coming your way next on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
More sports club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Kasuth Regional Health Center. Make KRHC your home for healthcare.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country. Highway 18 West.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush always beats a full house.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all of your auto service and repair needs.
Erpelding and Boyd CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprise. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
All sports club members bringing you this broadcast. High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services. Celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. Collision Specialist. A total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio. When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
It's time to meet the starting lineup for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears.
Featuring Sink, sophomore, number 32.
The pass is jumped by Sink. Sink runs the floor, lays it up. It's partially blocked, but he got it anyways.
Aiden Hovey, senior, number 5.
Hovey handling the ball here on the left wing. He'll fire a three-pointer, and he cans it.
Ryan Noonan, senior, number 4.
Looks for Noonan, gets it to him for an open catch-and-shoot three, and Ryan Noonan drains it.
Jack Ranjanette, senior, number 2.
Ranjanette jumps the pass, and he steals it. He'll head to the bucket. He'll lay it in. 2-0 Bishop Garrigan.
Andrew Fogarty, senior, number 24.
Now Fogarty on the right wing. He'll try another three, and he'll hit it. Fogarty pumps his fist. He's fired up. Tip-off of your game is coming up next on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Bishop Garrigan starters for tonight's game as the Golden Bears are coached by Mark Meister. Lake Mills coming out onto the floor here to start the game wearing their white uniforms. And like I said, they've got a couple familiar names but new faces in the starting lineup. The junior Logan Bacon moving in. You've also got Lance Hellman coming in as well for Lake Mills. It'll be Denton Kingland in the starting lineup, Eli Menke and Aiden Stensrud, all in the starting 5 for Lake Mills under head coach Kyle Menke. Beanie, your biggest key tonight for Bishop Garrigan to pull a road upset in the top 5 West.
I think it's their defense. Lake Mills is a team that always has moved the ball well. Garrigan's defense is really going to have to communicate and work together as a team and lock down that Lake Mills offense and keep it from getting out and getting going.
Now, Lake Mills did come off of one game in the top 5 West. They played Belmont Clemmy as they defeated the Broncos 73-32. That has been the only regular season game so far for Lake Mills. At midcourt, it's Stensrud, the sophomore, going up against Fogarty, the senior. Stensrud at 6'5", Fogarty at 6'3". Stensrud bat taps in the year underway. Lake Mills heading from right to left on the radio dial as Kingland will come out handling the ball. Kingland left of the lane. Has Sink up in his airspace as he gets it out to Lance Helming. Wicked spin move, but it was too wicked as he shuffled the shoes and traveled.
So we saw this official in the girls' game. He's quick on the travel call. Doesn't like to see a lot of spin moves in there.
Watch that spin move, though, from Helming. That was a quick spin move, and it could create a lot of space if he's able to keep the feet in the proper position.
You can tell when you see players like that, they've definitely put time in the gym if they're confident with those moves.
Golden Bears get across half court, breaking the press, a big improvement from last year. Noonan's on the right wing, pump fakes on the 3. Dishes across to Grandjeanette. Grandjeanette driving, he attacks, hangs and misses right at the rack. Ball got knocked away, but it rolls out to Kingland. Kingland crossing half court. Opening moments of the game as he floats from inside the foul line, and he drains it.
Yeah, this is one of the skills that young man has. He's so good at penetrating, getting into that lane, and just sending up that little floating jump shot.
The only returning starter from last year scored 17 points in the Lake Mills opener. He averaged 10.5 points per game last season. Grandjeanette bouncing it over to Sink on the left wing. Just 1 minute into this ball game, 2-0 Lake Mills. Noonan sets up for a 3-pointer. It wedges inside, no good. Fogarty battles for the rebound, and he peeled it away. He peeled it away from Stensrud and saved possession, but now Grandjeanette throws it to Menke, and we have a collision between Grandjeanette and Menke as the ball rockets out of bounds.
Boy, as I suspected, both these teams are like racehorses that want to burst out of the gates. Grandjeanette is pushing it. Fogarty's pushing it. Kingland and Cruz Stensrud just took off with it. Boy, they are pushing the tempo here in this gym.
Grandjeanette and Bacon bumping bodies, and we'll have a foul go against Bishop Garrigan here, their first of the game. We're going to see some physicality and a speed combined. Lake Mills, a very good size. Bacon, the only one under 6'4". Inside to Helming, cutting to the bucket. We've got a blocking foul against Bishop Garrigan as Jack Grandjeanette can't believe it.
Yeah, he can't believe it, and I have no problem with the call, but that's going to be the second foul on Jack Grandjeanette in about 4 seconds. And so he's going to pick up a quick 2 fouls for that Garrigan lineup. And as the premier ball handler on this team, the senior's going to have to play smart here the rest of the first quarter.
Well, you knew wide Helming, and now this is Lance Helming dropping in the first foul shot to make it 3-0 in favor of Lake Mills. Teams feeling out each other early in this game. Helming will swish the second one, make it 4-0 Lake Mills, giving them the early lead. Golden Bears clad in the gold on black tonight as they get it up the court to Sink. Sink striding inside, lays it up, and he missed it. Took some physical contact, but could not finish at the rack as Stensrud bothered that shot. In the corner, Menke, here comes the 3, and he airballed it. Hovey grabs the rebound and gets it to Fogarty. Here comes the Golden Bears on the push. Grandjeanette inside. He avoids contact, misses the layup. Ball pinballs out of bounds, and it will stay with Bishop Garrigan. Stensrud was setting up inside to try to take the charge. Grandjeanette tried to sidestep him as we have a timeout called with 6:15 on the clock by Coach Meister.
Yeah, the Garrigan coaching staff is not happy. I don't think that is how they wanted the game to start. Coach Meister is having some words with the official. He thinks, I believe he feels there was some major contact both on Sink there and on Grandjeanette as they went to the hoop, and talks to the official briefly about it. But Coach Freilich and Coach Schnurr, they're all upset. I don't think this is the plan that they wanted their players to execute as they get out there. So they're employing their team right now to stick to that game plan.
And that's a good timeout to call. Call while it's 4-0 before it becomes 12-2 or something like that early in the game. Get the team composed. It's a hostile road environment. As we saw in the girls' game, this crowd, it's pretty full over on the Lake Mills side, and it can get pretty juiced up when the Bulldogs get on a run.
Yeah, there's some energy in this gym. And, you know, this is not how Jack Grandjeanette wanted to start the game. He wasn't trying to pick up 2 fouls, but he almost drew a charge. That would have been huge. Instead, he gets called for the blocking foul. But, boy, he has come out of the gates. This senior Jack Grandjeanette has shown really tremendous energy to start this season off. He's coming into each game really going for it. Just got to watch those quick fouls early on.
Grandjeanette to trigger it in from the baseline, gets it into Fogarty. Fogarty turning into the lane. Fogarty powering inside, and this time he'll draw a foul.
Yeah, I like that. Power that ball into Fogarty. That was a clean foul across the arm. He's going to get himself to the free throw line. You know, this Lake Mills team is younger. Fogarty, the senior, he can post up these guys. He gives a little bit of height to Helming, but Fogarty has grown a lot in the offseason. And the whole Garrigan team has significant size improvement for the Bishop Garrigan team as a whole. Noonan, Fogarty, Hovey, all getting some height over the offseason.
And he missed them both. Rebound by Lance Helming. Ball got knocked away briefly as Hovey almost had a steal in the backcourt. And here comes Logan Bacon. Bacon appeared in just 9 games last season as Logan Bacon passes it to the right. In the lane, Kingland. Kingland swarm. Finds Menke inside, and he scores. How did he see that? Great assist.
Boy, no-look pass from Kingland. Just knew Menke was down there in the short corner. Threw it behind his head.
6-0 Lake Mills. Suboptimal start for the Golden Bears. Grand Jeanette better get it across here. 10 seconds is coming. And there it is. 10-second violation against the Golden Bears. Just too casual that time.
There we saw the same official with the same call in the girls' game. It is the benefit of using that shot clock. That time he waited until the shot clock got all the way down to 23 seconds. So he would make sure that that 10-second call is accurate.
Carter Schwab in for Jack Grand Jeanette. Schwab right now leads Bishop Garrigan in both rebounds and assists as he comes off the bench. The freshman getting some run here as Kingland is in the center of the lane, comes outside to Helming. Helming working against Fogarty, and he stumbles a little bit and he travels.
I was going to say, he got away with the travel, but then the late whistle, the referee agreed with me, saw that foot drag. You know, Aiden Hovey just did some excellent defense on Kingland, keeping him out of that lane.
Now Hovey has it just before half court, comes right to Schwab. Schwab bullets it over to Noonan in the corner to the right of us. Noonan takes one dribble and flips it left, and he sails it over Sink's head and out of bounds.
Yeah, just an errant pass by Noonan. Good decision by Noonan. He was looking for that three-point shot, but Lake Mills came out and defended him with two players. They know he can shoot that, and he looked for that player coming around the top of key. Just got a little too much juice on that ball.
And the Golden Bears have 6 players on the floor right now, and now Noonan will check out as Drew Mahler comes in. As much as you'd like to go 6 against Lake Mills, that is not going to be the case, as right now Lake Mills is up 6-0. Kingland navigating the baseline, feeds it into the lane, but there's nothing but black. The Golden Bears are right there. Outlet up to Mahler, and it's blocked! Oh, a chase down block by Stensrud, but the Golden Bears got it back off the block. They stayed with it. Sink to the right of us with 4:55 on the clock, and now out top to Schwab. Schwab pump fakes and comes right to Sink. Mahler's inside. He gets it to Mahler, who comes back out beyond the three-point line, passing it left behind Fogarty. Fogarty saved it. It was behind Hovey. He saved it from going into the student section. 10 on the shot clock. Knocked away, but Hovey keeps his dribble. Hovey charging towards the baseline. Hovey pivoting. Hovey in trouble. Fights it up, but it's blocked again. Oh, a block party for Stensrud as he has back-to-back rejections.
What a save by Fogarty. Boy, that block by Stensrud. Talk about wingspans a lot tonight. That guy's standing at 6'5", and I think he's probably got a 6'9" wingspan. Those arms are long. He's a very army guy. And boy, that Stensrud name at Lake Mills goes back a long ways. I believe some Stensruds played down the Cyclone team way back on the football team. Perhaps some
2 seconds to go on the shot clock. Fogarty has to hoist. He missed it. It rattled out, but Schwab followed and scored. Everyone on Lake Mills stopped because the buzzer went off. That got the rim, and Schwab was the only one who knew what was going on.
That's right. Just taking some adjustment to get used to that shot clock. I was a little bit confused. The buzzer started going off, and I was expecting everyone to stop, but play continues.
There's a 3 ball by Kingland. The hometown Lake Mills scoreboard keeper hasn't given Bishop Garrigan their 2 points yet, but that one should have counted. Now they give it to them. They were in denial. It's inside to Hovey. Pumps once, gets the defender to fly. Put it up, put it down, and got fouled as Hovey pumps his fist and heads to the line.
Aiden Hovey, the old man, senior on the team, using the old man moves. Good up fake. It is a move that is not used enough in high school basketball. Aiden Hovey gets a good up fake, gets the shot blockers off their feet, goes up with a hesitation, draws contact, puts it in. I love to see that old school move.
So were those old man moves the new moves back when you were playing?
What? Tyler Lance. How old do you think I am? But yes, you're right.
The free throw misses up the front of the rim. I will refrain from guessing. 9-4 is the Lake Mills advantage. Kingland heading towards the left as he passes it to Alex Manus, who just checked into the ball game. Now back to Kingland. Guarded by Schwab. They'll screen Schwab. Kingland to the right of the foul line, comes up top. Helming top the key triple off the back of the rim, and Fogarty grabs the rebound.
That was a nice three-point look by Helming. I will say, Tyler, I'm old enough that I remember when there wasn't a three-point line.
Oof. 3-point shot is missed by Drew Mahler. Drew Mahler remembers that there's a 3-point line, as now there's 3:25 left to go in the game, or in the quarter, that is. Now Bacon has it on the left wing. Bounce pass to Helming. Fogarty staying in front. Helming settles for a mid-range jumper, and you'll take that all night if you're the Golden Bears.
Yeah, Lake Mills has no rebounders last few possessions.
Bounce dash down low to Sink, now back out to Schwab, and Schwab got going too soon and he traveled.
Yeah, he just did that step book, kind of a shuffle, kind of like a little bit of a dance move, a little step ball change, and the official is right there to see it and call a freshman. Now Schwab, you talked earlier, Tyler, is great at assists. He made a nice assist to Hovey just a moment ago. He really has good vision for the floor, does Carter Schwab.
3 minutes to go in the quarter. 9-4 Lake Mills, as Lake Mills has beaten Bishop Garrigan 6 straight times, including 75-32 and 67-40 last year. Fogarty tries to jump a pass. Ball goes over to Kingland. Kingland weaving, dishing into the near corner to Bacon. They get it around to Manus. Manus free ball clanks off the glass, no good.
And again, no rebounders for Lake Mills. The Garrigan defense really do a nice job. Good timeout by the coaches. Garrigan now looks like they're under control and executing the game plan here.
High lob to Fogarty, turns to face the bucket, and now comes up top to Mahler. Fought about pulling, but fought better of it. Schwab on the wing, now gives to Fogarty in the high post. Fogarty inside, takes a wide angle, floats it and misses. Sink taps it, it goes right to Schwab. Schwab powers it up and scores.
Well, Schwab really just kind of knifed in there and swiped that ball. He was just waiting to pounce on the three-point line. Just got a good eye for the ball and knows where it's going.
Kingland trying to navigate past Schwab, and Schwab grabbed a little jersey there for a foul. That'll be third foul on Bishop Garrigan. 2 for Lake Mills in quarter number 1.
Yeah, really, for all the hustle and contact in this game, only 5 fouls total call.
We've seen a lot of travels and only a couple fouls so far with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bacon has it, guarded by Sink. Bacon heading inside, hangs, and this time he did get fouled. Number 4 against Bishop Garrigan.
Bacon did another old school thing that you don't see enough of in basketball, a really nice hard head fake. See these young players, they're bringing those old school moves back. Bacon with the head fake there. Schwab just executed a nice fake before. Like you see, those things kids are starting to realize that those are very effective.
Bishop Garrigan will get set to check Logan Nemmers into the game as Bacon drills the foul shot. You know, we talk a lot about Bishop Garrigan's girls and their top of Iowa West winning streak. Well, Lake Mills boys, they've won 35 straight top of Iowa West games. Their last loss was December 7th of 2020 against Forest City, and that loss actually gave Bishop Garrigan the 1920 conference title. 10-6 right now, Lake Mills. Bacon from the foul line, and he makes it 11-6.
Yeah, these two teams have had some classic matchups in the past. I remember one Lake Mills Garrigan game in the Garrigan gym that maybe the most rocking gym I've heard in a long time. The Lake Mills fans were pumped and Garrigan was good, and man, it was a great atmosphere for high school basketball.
These two teams met in the district championship game in Angelo Winkle's senior year back in the 2020-2021 season, as the shot is missed right at the rack by the Golden Bears. 1:38 to go. Kingland trying to dish into the corner, and a foul against the Golden Bears before he was able to do that.
Boy, the far official's going to call it from a long ways away. Kingland is going in there and kind of leading with his elbow, and I was thinking he might get called for a charge there, but they're going to say that Schwab is the one that was pushing there.
So Schwab picks up his second foul. Down in the post it goes to Helming, kicks it out, catch and shoot 3 for Kingland, and it rattles off the cup as Fogarty wipes the glass. Now up the court comes Schwab. 1:24 on the clock in the first quarter, 11-6 Lake Mills. Both teams have been a little sluggish shooting-wise tonight.
Yeah, defense playing way. Lake Mills is struggling with the defense, but they're playing some good defense. They just get another steal.
There's a knockaway. Chase Gatsky, the junior, and Lake Mills forces another Garrigan turnover. Turnovers have been an issue for the Golden Bears. Crossing lane, Manus. Manus has Schwab poking the ball, keeps it out of trouble, and Fogarty will knock it out of bounds with 58 seconds.
Good active hands by Fogarty. He hasn't had a break yet. I think they're going to get Bauer to give Fogarty a break. Hovey just got a much-needed break when Logan Nemmers came in. Logan Nemmers is going to be a force off the bench. He just had a point-blank look at the basket, but he was careful not to pick up a foul. But you see that Logan, he can play inside for the Bears quite well. Justin Bauer going to play some defense here.
And he replaces Schwab, who has 2 fouls. Helming dishing into the corner to Kingland, tries to scoop past Bauer. Mahler comes over to help, they double team. Onto left wing Manus. He lets the three-pointer rip and he rattles it in. 14-6 Lake Mills.
Oh, that was an advantage Lake Mills there. That was a great shot by Lake Mills and a big key part of the game here.
Mahler has the basketball. Mahler in a little bit of trouble, and we will get a whistle and a foul here of 24 seconds to go in the quarter. And that will be number 3 against Lake Mills, or excuse me, number 3 against Alex Manus for Lake Mills. So he's picked up 3 fouls. And
Garrigan has been dominating the defensive boards, and that's going to be a big foul. He just hit that 3-point shot with him on the bench, and they kind of missed that outside threat.
Nice move inside Fogarty. He misses with 16 seconds. Fogarty follows. It's blocked. It's Stensrud again of his third. Fogarty falls again, and he got fouled. I'm not sure that number's right. Manus has not played enough to have 3 fouls, I don't believe. I think the scoreboard left whoever the starter was with their
agree.
fouls.
I don't think he could possibly have 3 by now. Fogarty just did some incredible hard work. Actually got 4 shots because he got the rebound again after they called for the foul. But to work so hard and come up empty, let's hope he makes these 2 free throws.
And that one rattles out of the cup, no good for Fogarty.
The young man's 0 for 3 in his free throws right now. He's frustrated. He's worked hard all quarter with nothing to show for it.
Fogarty shot 51.5% from the line last season. And he will split the pair here, so he gets on the board to make it 14-7. Kingland will bring it into the front court. Lake Mills can take the last shot. 6 seconds to go. Kingland driving. He sees numbers and turns out. Gets it out to Menke. He'll let the three-pointer rip, and it misses at the buzzer as Bauer grabs the rebound. And he got fouled right before the end of the quarter. Manus kind of hammered down on Bauer's shoulder as he was dribbling out.
Now, if Manus does have 2 fouls, that will definitely be his 3rd foul as he picks up a nonsense one there. It says he's got 4 fouls, but we've agreed that can't be
that
right.
is not correct. So however many fouls Manus has, he picked one up right before the end of the quarter. So 14-7, first quarter goes to Lake Mills, but plenty of ball game left here from Lake Mills High School on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
More Sports Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Algona Livestock Sales. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic. Animals large and small, they love them all.
Signworks for all your signage needs as well as printed shirts, caps, and jackets. Stop in or call 295-9544.
Style Salon. Your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong. Keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
All proud sponsors of this broadcast.
As we come back, quarter number 2 begins from Lake Mills High School as it's Lake Mills 14, Bishop Garrigan 7. Golden Bears struggling with turnovers in quarter number 1. Fogarty in the high post, looks inside to Hovey. It's stripped, but he picks it back up. Menke had the knock away. Hovey going to work, using the full pivot foot, misses right at the rack, grabs the rebound and bounces it to Grand Jeanette as he was falling down.
Bears have Grand Jeanette back in the game, playing with 2 fouls here.
Noonan to Fogarty, just to the edge of the lane now, back outside Noonan. Around the screen from Fogarty, opens up a foul line jumper, and Noonan buries it.
Oh, he's got a nice jump shot. That's a shot that the Bears got to look for to create for Noonan here. Pretty shot.
From the outside, it'll be a 3-point try for Lake Mills. Clangs off the front of the rim from Gatsky, and now Bishop Garrigan runs. Grand Jeanette on the pace. Grand Jeanette stops. Grand Jeanette puts it up, and he scores over the top of Manus.
Great bucket by the senior. Great decision by Jack to slam on the brakes and pull it for the jump shot rather than force the issue, get himself and everyone pounded as he goes hard to the hoop. Now he's playing some good defense. He is tussling with Menke, and I think they're going to call a double foul. Menke's going to pick up one, and Grand Jeanette's going to pick up one. Oh, no.
Well, that's much bigger for Bishop Garrigan than it is for Lake Mills.
Yes, it is. Those 2 young men were just battling for position down on the block, and Grand Jeanette was not going to let the bigger Menke push him down low underneath the hoop, so he was holding his ground. They got tangled up, and the official was just happened to be watching them, and he said, "That's enough, boys. I'm giving you both a foul." And you are right, Tyler. Ouch, that's going to hurt Garrigan a lot more than Lake Mills because Jack just came out in the second quarter, hit a nice bucket, made a nice couple passes. Hard to see that senior take the bench here, probably for the rest of the second quarter, and there are 7 minutes left.
So Schwab comes into the ball game, and I'll tell you what, in spite of the 3 fouls, when you have a point guard, you want him to have that dog inside of him, and that's what Jack Grand Jeanette has. He's always challenging bigger players. He's tussling on defense. He's got the dog inside of him, and, well, it kind of bit him tonight, but unfortunately, he has now 3 fouls. But normally it works out well, as in the corner, it's Gatsky. He'll fire the 3, but he left it short, and Schwab grabs the rebound.
Again, Lake Mills seems to just concede the defensive rebounds after they take that first shot.
Fogarty driving inside, goes to the left hand, and he missed it. Rebound by Helming.
These are uncharacteristic misses by Andrew Fogarty. He is an excellent shot.
Kingland banging inside, squeezing between the defense, and he'll draw a foul.
And that is going to be on Carter Schwab, I believe, which I believe is his 3rd foul. And
sure is.
And that means Garrigan's 2 premier ball handlers so far this season are going to be playing the rest of the way. Oh, no, they changed it. They gave that to number 5. Aiden Hovey.
Yep.
Oh,
that is a break for Bishop Garrigan as Kingland finishes off a three-point play. A good 70% foul shooter is now Schwab. Pushes into the front court. Noonan has it as it is 17-11 in favor of Lake Mills. 6:23 on the clock. Noonan's up top. Passes it right to Schwab. Bullets it down to the baseline to Hovey. And his pass back out to the top is knocked away by Kingland, but Noonan chases it down all the way the full length of the court. Bishop Garrigan still has 15 seconds to work with on the shot clock as Schwab pumps the ball a couple of times and flips it left to Fogarty. Fogarty to the baseline. Hovey behind everyone. Got Helming to fly by, and he laid it in.
Nice pump fake by Hovey. Great pass by Fogarty, senior to senior.
Now 5:55 to go in the quarter. 4 points right now for Helming. It's Kingland doing the work. Driving past Sink, getting to the rack and scoring. 19-13, Denton Kingland has been a problem. He has 10 points so far tonight. Schwab on the wing. Kingland's up in his face. Wraps the pass around him to Fogarty. Now back out to Schwab. Schwab splits the defense, heads to the bucket, scoops it up with fancy footwork, but misses there. Didn't quite get that one to drop as it's 19-13. 5:25 on the clock. Kingland on the near side, banging his way into the lane, jumping it up and missing as Hovey squeezes the rebound.
Big rebound by Hovey. Kingland got in the lane. Didn't result in points for them, but Garrigan's got to keep Kingland out of that lane, and the coaches for Garrigan want to call a 30-second timeout. They're right in this game, down 19-13. They want to make sure they don't let this lead for Lake Mills slip away a little bit further, and that means they got to lock down that defense. Can't let Kingland get in the lane. That is the bread and butter for the Lake Mills offense.
And this is just such a tough customer as far as Lake Mills goes. 3 state appearances in a row, as you referenced. Everyone kind of looking to see what they're going to do next now that they have a lot of transition in their team and still finding their way offensively so far tonight. Fortunately for the Golden Bears, this hasn't been one of those big Lake Mills shooting nights. Last year, they were a really good three-point shooting team, #1 in the conference, and they've missed a few threes so far this game.
Yes, they have. Hey, Tyler, we have the Hoi Polloi coming in with a comment. They said that, you said, Tyler, or that Jack Rangenet has a dog in there and you have the fight of the dog, and the Garrigan crowd out there is texting me saying, oh, it's the bear, the fight of the bear. As we are the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Always some messages from the peanut gallery.
No, we like the messages. I guess maybe I shouldn't have brought out that metaphor as they play the Bulldogs tonight, but I think it applies. I'm sticking by what I said.
Yeah, you always
stick to my
you always
words.
got to stick to your word. Aiden Hovey working hard.
Oh, Hovey with a nice move inside, and he scores.
Oh, another great old man move by Hovey. Using that pivot foot, up fakes, he's got it all tonight. Hovey really leading the charge here for the Garrigan offense.
He's got the long legs, and that just really fools the defense as Hovey uses that pivot foot, just really steps past everyone, and they don't realize just how long he is underneath the basket. As now it's 19-15, Garrigan's got it back down to 4. And they'll pick up another foul. Fogarty can't believe it, so that would lead me to believe he may be the guilty party here.
Yeah, Kingland is forcing the issue by pounding that ball in the lane. And Kingland is not going to be denied, and he's going to keep driving in there, picking up fouls. That time it goes against Drew Moeller. So if Kingland is going to keep forcing that issue and pounding that ball in the lane, the Bears are going to have to spread out those fouls.
And the foul shot is up, and it is good. First of the 1-and-1 drained by Kingland to make it 20-15. Yeah, the Drews are on the same wavelength. I feel if you have the same name as someone, a same name as a teammate, you've got to be on the same sort of page.
That's
now,
right.
I don't know that you would know anything about that unless there were any beanies playing back in the day with you, but
there's one beanie in Garrigan history. His name is Beanie Cooper, and he went on to be a great public speaker. I could only hope to get that far.
Noonan will try a deep three-pointer, and he got it right when Bishop Garrigan needed it. Back down to a 3-point game.
What a shot by Noonan from long range.
Bishop Garrigan has been not shooting the ball well on three-pointers so far, just 6 of 31 coming into tonight, but that is a much-needed breath of fresh air with 4:06 on the clock. Kingland trying to get past Hovey. He stays in front, knocks it away briefly, but Kingland got it back, bumps into Hovey. They'll let them play, and the jumper is missed. Good, solid defense as Hovey tried to maybe embellish a little bit and draw the foul.
Yeah, Kingland is really forcing that issue. He is pounding it inside. That time he pounded Hovey to the floor.
Oh, now Noonan attacks and he floats and scores.
We've awakened the dragon, or should I say bear, in Ryan Noonan as he has turned it on offensively, forcing Lake Mills call a timeout. It's a 1-point game.
30-second timeout called by Lake Mills, as right now 7 points for Ryan Noonan. 21-20 is the score, and all of a sudden, Bishop Garrigan, they're getting good shots. The energy's coming back in, and defensively, they are playing very physical tonight. Physicality, definitely the key word of the first half.
Yeah, how about Ryan Noonan there? He hits that long three and comes right back and gets that ball to the hoop. You know, you got to feed that hot hand. He hit that jump shot earlier. He might be the guy feeling it tonight. Fogarty has struggled a little bit with the shot. He's certainly working hard and creating shots, but they're just not falling. You know, you got to identify who's hitting those shots, and right now it's Noonan. And boy, with Grand Jeanette on the bench, Schwab's doing a nice job handling that ball. So good job by the freshman coming in, covering for the senior on the bench with his 3 fouls. And we'll see how long the coaches want to keep Grand Jeanette on the bench as we get into the 3-minute mark.
Bishop Garrigan has to be selective with their three-point shooting, as they were 8th of 9 teams in the top of Iowa West last year in three-point percentage, but got a big one from Noonan earlier. 1-point ball game as Lake Mills has the basketball. Helming with 3:25 on the clock. Helming trying to hand it off, but he handed it right to Hovey. Here comes Aiden Hovey, dribbled off the foot, saves from going out of bounds and gets it out to Mahler to save the possession. Turnover, but no easy bucket. Hovey in the near corner, inside Fogarty. Offensive fouls, he plowed over Kingland. And Fogarty having a couple words with the official, who has a couple words back.
Yeah, Fogarty got that ball in the deep post. He is not liking that call, and he has some words for the official. Fortunately, he didn't get a technical there. Another official came streaming over right away to calm him down, but I can understand why Fogarty is upset. He thought he had position. Kingland did a nice fall there, took the charge for his team. Just 2 young competitors banging it out down low.
Nemers is in for Fogarty. Ball's in the corner. It's bobbled by Keaton Wempen, who checked in for the first time. Helming in a sandwich. Fades out of traffic, and he swishes a jumper. Lance Helming with a nice shot, making it a 3-point game. Schwab for Bishop Garrigan has the basketball. Schwab with his 2 fouls. Picked them both up early, but it's avoided foul trouble here in the second quarter. Drifts towards the right. Tried to get it to Nemers in the lane. It's knocked away, and Helming picks it up. Lake Mills has the basketball. It's Kingland again. Here comes Kingland. He's faking 3. He's shooting the 3, and he's missing to the right. Mahler secures the board.
Big board by Drew Mahler. He's going to bring it up the court. He can handle it. Here he goes.
Mahler inside Fogarty, off the glass, and he scored it. Great find, Drew Mahler. Great score, Drew Fogarty, and the Drew chemistry is on point.
That was a great connection between the Drews. Really good vision for each other as they streak down the floor.
Kingland squeezing past the defense, missing right at the rim. Ball's batted, and Nemers reaches above everyone for the board. Schwab crossing over, sidearms to Noonan. Didn't look the ball into his hand, but picked it back up. Shoots the corner 3 off the back of the rim. It's tapped out, and it's picked up by Bacon. Bacon weaves around Noonan. Bacon bullets it into the lane. It is off of Menke, and back to Bishop Garrigan.
It was hard to see that. That was a fast play. The tempo is picking up again. Boy, we got a 1-point game on our hands. Garrigan's really fought their way back in. I got no problem with Ryan Noonan taking that quick 3 in the corner. He's feeling it, and he's playing with some confidence here. Fogarty gets that nice bucket. You know, you get a little bit of confidence in this team, they can put up some points.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if that one was off of Menke on that one, or if it was off of Nemers, but Nemers somehow avoided that last one. Handed off to Schwab. He'll let the 3-pointer fly. Clangs off the glass, but it bounces right to Fogarty off the tipped ball. Now Mahler crossing the foul line of 1:34 on the clock. Back onto the right wing, Fogarty. Fogarty wants to attack. Goes to the bucket, and he traveled.
Yeah, that time he got double teamed. He slammed on the brakes with a jump stop. He put that elbow up, and I was afraid they were going to call him for a charge. But he moved that little, shuffled his right foot a little bit and gets the travel call. Probably a good thing for Fogarty there. That elbow was going up, and they got his number.
Lake Mills has the basketball with 1:18 on the clock. Down to Bacon. Bangs inside, but an offensive foul.
Now that is a good quid pro quo right there. That young man, Bacon, he definitely threw that shoulder into the defender. I believe it was Drew Mahler picking up that charge. Yeah, nice job, Drew Mahler. Drew Mahler's a smooth player. Kind of a silent assassin down there as he takes a spot down post. Keep an eye on that young man.
Schwab attacking down the center of the paint, but missed right at the rim. Ball got tipped, another offensive board. Out to Mahler. 3-point tries, missed. Sink taps it, and it goes right to Schwab with 57 seconds on the clock. Noonan over to Schwab. 23-22 is the Lake Mills lead. This is a top of Iowa West battle early in the season. Fogarty in the post to Mahler. Mahler back to the bucket. Mahler going to work. Hooks it up, and he got it. 24-23, Garrigan's on top.
All right, Bears take the 1-point lead for the first time in a long time. The Garrigan is on top of Lake Mills, or so it seems. Nice job by Drew Moeller. He has got a good mismatch going on against his opponent. He's got size. Keep going there.
Kingland comes around the screen, fights one off the glass and misses. Golden Bears have all the momentum coming into the break. Schwab passes to Noonan, but he threw it out of his reach and out of bounds.
Oh.
This feels like the reverse of the Newman Catholic game, where Garrigan had the early lead. Newman Catholic came back and tied it at halftime. This one, Lake Mills had the early lead. Now Garrigan has captured some momentum right before half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tyler. Garrigan, I think, gained a lot of experience from that tight Newman game. Now, Lake Mills has a chance to work for the final shot, as Kingland has been all the offense in the last couple minutes for Lake Mills.
Helming comes to Menke, near corner three, and he swishes it. 26-24 Lake Mills. Eli Menke got it. Bauer comes up the court with 5 seconds. Mahler has it. Mahler with 2 seconds. Gets it to Noonan. He gets the shot off. He got it. Ryan Noonan at the buzzer, and that's the half. 27-26. Bishop Garrigan has Ryan Noonan. That smooth as silk jumper gives Bishop Garrigan the 1-point advantage. Noonan now of 10 points. Huge, huge shot right before halftime.
Yeah, he just caught that right in stride. Catch and shoot three. That's what you do in practice. Boy, both teams, Tyler, really turned it on here that second quarter, and it's going to become a great game.
So 27-26, Bishop Garrigan trades the lead back and forth a couple of times at the end of the second quarter, but they take the advantage into the break. We'll take a quick time out and come back more next on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmers State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years, with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services. Celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. Collision Specialist. A total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Halftime between Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills. Right now it's the Golden Bears with a 27-26 advantage. We'll take a quick break from the boys game to talk about the girls game with head coach Brandon Schwab. Coach, Lake Mills got a little momentum early in that ball game in the first quarter. You guys ultimately ended up coming out on top in that one. What were you seeing there early in the ball game?
Well, you know, they hit some shots early, and, you know, their crowd was really into the game early, and they were feeding off their crowd and student section. That was, you know, the loudest environment we've played in for a while, and, you know, and they hit some shots early on us, you know, once we settled in and, you know, we just switched how we were defending the ball screen a little bit. We did a little better job, but, you know, they just hit some shots early, and our defense wasn't playing that intense and right away, and they got some buckets.
Coach, what was the message to your team in between the first and second quarters? You tried to make some adjustments in the break there.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't hear it, Tyler. The adjustment is that we need to communicate through them ball screens and our transition defense. We weren't talking on who we're guarding, you know, and leaving some players open, you know, and a great player like Vonix coming down, and Molly had taken the ball to the basket, and we're not picking up their best player and recognizing her. That's a problem, you know, and, you know, we did a better job of recognizing her in the second half, but, you know, she's a very good player, and, you know, and she played well and hit some shots tonight, and that was, but, you know, we did a little better job defensively in the second half, but still a long ways to go for us.
And, Coach, it seemed like you got back a little bit to the bread and butter in the second half. A lot of touches in the post for Audie Crooks. Just, was that an emphasis at halftime for the team, or was that just an adjustment they kind of made as the game went on?
Well, you know, their forwards we hit threes tonight, and their forwards in the beginning of the game start staying in their zone on Audie, which allowed us to get a lot of open threes in the first half. In the second half, you could tell they were coming out on their three-point shooters a little more, which is going to allow the inside to open up a little more. So I just thought we took what the defense gave us in the first half. We had wide open threes, and we need to take them. And, you know, we hit 9 threes or whatever tonight, and that's a little better shooting night out of us. So, you know, we just took what the defense gave us, and, you know, yeah, we had a nice stretch there in the third that we were able to pull their forwards out and being able to get on Audie in a one-on-one matchup, and that's what we wanted to get.
And, Coach, it didn't result in a lot of points, but Abby Capacious had a nice night rebounding, especially on the offensive glass. How big of a boost is it to your team to have someone who's always going for that extra possession?
Absolutely. You know, Abby's one of our best rebounders and, you know, relentless on the boards. If anyone's going to guard her, they're in for a long night because she's going after it every single time. And, you know, her ability to hit the boards and play good defense is really, a catalyst of our team. So we're really proud of the way she offensive and defensive rebound for us and just played tough all night.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win, and thanks for stopping by.
All right, thanks a lot. That
is Bishop Garrigan head coach Brandon Schwab here at halftime, as right now in the boys' game, the Golden Bears have a 1-point advantage over the Lake Mills Bulldogs, 27-26. We'll take another quick timeout, and we will break down the upcoming second half of the boys' game next on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com. When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at moneypass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
More Sports Club members making these broadcasts possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Kasuth Regional Health Center. Make KRHC your home for healthcare.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country. Highway 18 West.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush always beats a full house.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all of your auto service and repair needs.
Erpelding and Boyd CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprise. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
All Sports Club members bringing you this broadcast.
Halftime between Bishop Garrigan and Lake Mills, and the Golden Bears storming back late in the first half to take a 27-26 lead. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner's Beanie Bodie, and Beanie, maybe not the high-scoring game we expected, but this matchup has absolutely lived up to the hype so far.
Yeah, this is an exciting game we got on our hands right here. I was really impressed by the Garrigan adjustments that they made. They made some great adjustments defensively, and after that, the Lake Mills game seemed to only be denting Kingland, and if he didn't create an offensive shot in the paint, they weren't going to get a good shot, and he was missing, and as he misses, that's the way that the Lake Mills offense went, and they had a good drought there where they didn't score many points. Then they found Menke in the corner for a three-pointer, and you can see that's what they might try to do to open up this second half. Garrigan's got to be ready for them to start hitting more kick-out threes. They got to defend that perimeter. But, Tyler, you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to agree with your point. Bishop Garrigan has to defend that perimeter, and yes, when Kingland is blanketed, the offense is not functioning for Lake Mills. He has 12 of their 26 points. Bishop Garrigan, meanwhile, has gotten 10 points from Ryan Noonan, hitting a couple big threes, including that buzzer-beating one to end the first half. But what do you think is going to be the number one factor that turns this game in half number 2 in either direction?
Well, Kingland is not going to slow down. He's that senior on that Lake Mills team. He's an experienced player. He's going to keep trying to take it to the Golden Bears, and as he does so, the question is, are the Bears going to get themselves into foul trouble? Right now, Jack Granchette is going to be playing with 3 fouls. Schwab's got a couple. Hovey's got a couple. You know, that can really change the dynamics of a game when you get some players on the bench in your time of need. But Garrigan has a pretty deep bench, so I guess I'm not so much worried about that. During the Newman game, we went into the game halftime tied 30-30. This time we're up by 1. The Newman game got away from us. I think the key is Garrigan to be able to sustain this energy and keep playing that competitive ball game all the way for 4 quarters and not let this one get away from them, because they've got it in their hands at this point.
And Even though it's a hostile road environment, you can still feed off the crowd to an extent. You can use the booze to fuel you, but this has been quite the environment tonight. The band's going crazy in the background. I can barely hear myself think. The Lake Mills crowd's been into it. Even during the girls' game when things were starting to pull away a little bit, they've been going crazy. Garrigan's brought a nice crowd tonight. Just, this is what you want for high school basketball. The exact kind of environment. Conference rivalry, two potentially of the top teams in the conference, and just packed house, everyone making noise. This sets up for an energetic and exciting second half.
Yeah, these fans are on their feet for the school song. Garrigan's got a great high-energy crowd here. You know, the Garrigan crowd is outnumbered by the Lake Mills crowd. It's a hostile away gym, like you said, but I like to think some of those Garrigan players, they feed off of that. I know Andrew Fogarty enough, and Jack Grangenet well enough, and Noonan and Hovey especially. Like, those guys, they like the battle. I think they like the challenge of the hostile environment, and the louder that crowd gets, I think it just gets them amped up even more. I think they like that challenge. Doesn't have to be our student section, yes, getting them fired up. So I like our seniors on the bench coming out this second half and really showing the fight of the Golden Bear in this case.
The second half getting set to begin. Bishop Garrigan trying to snap a 6-game losing streak to Lake Mills. Bishop Garrigan's last win against the Bulldogs was on December 10th of 2019, a 72-65 Bishop Garrigan victory. That, if you remember, was the year that Bishop Garrigan went to the state championship game against Wapsie Valley. And speaking of which, I ran into a local basketball legend recently who was on that state championship team, the one and only Marcus Plath. He averaged 9 points and 8 boards, and he was a big part of that team and where it went.
I remember Marcus Plath having a couple backdoor layups in the sub-state game that helped Garrigan get to that state tournament.
Lake Mills also advanced to state that year, and they were upset early. Lake Mills really accomplished everything the past 3 years besides win it all, as Kingland opened up with a drive and goes right to the rack for 2.
Yeah, Kingland will not be denied this half. Jack Grangenet back in the game playing with 3, both seniors directing their teams.
Jack Grangenet got a little rest. There's the foul trouble in the first half. We'll see if he comes out with energy. Noonan driving and Noonan getting fouled. I'll tell you what, Noonan is not just sitting outside tonight. He is initiating, and he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, Noonan playing with some fire. You know, Noonan sometimes just has to be given permission to take off and go for it. When he hit that running jumper in the lane early in the half, boy, he took off offensively.
And Noonan clangs the first one off the back of the cup, no good. 50% foul shooter last year who averaged 5.7 points per game with the neon green shoes shining bright here in the Lake Mills evening. And Noonan ties the game at 28 with the second foul shot.
Well, tied at 28. We're right on pace with the last game against Newman, about 30 points a half.
7:25 on the clock. Over to the right, Bacon has it, holds it over his head. Grangenet pesters him. Menke to the right to Kingland. Sink sticks on him like glue as the pass comes back to the left to Bacon. Pumps once and comes over to the right. Stensrud shoots a free, and he finds the bottom of the net.
Garrigan did not expect Stensrud to pop that 3. You just assume that a 6'5" young man is not going to shoot a 3-pointer after he blocked 2 shots in the first half, but he calmly pulls up and drains it.
Stensrud only attempted 3 3-pointers last year, but he made 2 of them as Hovey dishes down to Fogarty, banging inside, pivoting, looking for room, fighting it up, and with a soft touch, he bounces it in.
Now that was great mental awareness by Fogarty. He had the 6'5" Stensrud, who's got 2 or 3 inches on him. He nifty footwork creates a shot, and Fogarty comes up with a steal.
He gets it up to Grangenet, lets the defender fly by him. He hangs, shot missed, Sink with the follow, and Sink scores.
Nice follow by Sink. Grangenet got hacked on the arm, no call. He's having a frustrating night. He's got to bear through this with some poise.
Kingland trying to get past Sink, pivots all the way around, and he missed it far. Fogarty rebounds on the far side of the court. Now Grangenet striding towards the lane, puts it off the glass and scores it.
Garrigan up 3. As Bacon comes up the floor. Bacon is not as giant as his brother was, who I believe is playing college football.
Yes,
but
indeed.
Still a very physical player.
College linebacker Stensrud tries another 3, and Fogarty rips the rebound away from Lance Helming and says, "Give that to me."
Oh, big board by Fogarty, and he getting draped all over as he brought that down. Good job by him to keep a hold of that ball.
34-31. Now Fogarty wants to score, and he reverses and lays it in. 36-31. Timeout, Kyle Menke and Lake Mills.
Wow. Ice cold Andrew Fogarty first half has come out as lightning hot Andrew Fogarty second half. He was doing some nifty footwork down there, Tyler.
Great footwork by Fogarty. He knew exactly when to reverse it. Really didn't even have great vision of that, but put the perfect English on the ball to spin it off the glass and put it in. And all of a sudden, Largest lead of the night for Bishop Garrigan, 36-31. Possibly a momentum-quelling timeout by Coach Menke, but if you're the Golden Bears, you've got to keep the foot on the gas pedal coming out of this, and it starts on the defensive end, really.
Yeah, if you're in that Garrigan huddle, you got to be thinking, boy, keep up what we're doing, guys. This is working. We got a 5-point lead on a team that's had our number. We're into the third quarter here. You got to love it if you're a Garrigan fan, seeing Andrew Fogarty, the senior, put on a clinic there of moves down low against Helming there. Nifty rebound and went back on the offensive end and did a nifty offensive move. Now Hovey's going to get up, check back into the game. He's another senior with some energy. So, yeah, I'm looking forward this timeout. You cannot let your guard down if you're Garrigan. You got to come out with some ferocious energy. Don't let that timeout by Lake Mills be effective.
5:45 on the clock in quarter number 3. It's a 36-31 Bishop Garrigan advantage. Noonan right now with 11 points. It'll be Fogarty, Grand Jeanette, Noonan, Mahler, and Sink coming out of the timeout for the Golden Bears, and Bacon will run the point for Lake Mills. Bacon hands it off to Kingland on the right wing, comes left to Helming. Fogarty closes out to defend, then a flip back to the right to Stensrud. Mahler's playing a little off him. Stensrud passes left, almost knocked away by Grand Jeanette. Weaving past him is Bacon. Down the lane, misses a wild layup. Stensrud sails in, but he can't get the board, and here comes Sink. Up to Noonan. Noonan towards the lane, steps past Menke, and he lays it in. Ryan Noonan is on one tonight. He's got 13 points.
Oh, nice move by Noonan. Lake Mills just hammered it to the hoop, hoping at foul calls, not getting them.
Deep three-pointer, Menke rattles out. Fogarty boxes out for the rebound, and a foul. Helming reached over, and he draws, and Fogarty draws the foul from Helming.
Wow, big box out by Andrew Fogarty. He is coming out a man on fire here this second half. What a great start there. You know, if Lake Mills is going to, Garrigan, I think, is going to be okay with that three-pointer. We knew they were going to shoot some more three-pointers. That one was extremely deep.
Bishop Garrigan 38, Lake Mills 31. Fogarty is in the lane, out to Noonan. He'll let the three-pointer rip, and he finds the bottom of the net. Ryan Noonan is taking over the ball game, and Bishop Garrigan's up by 10.
Oh, Noonan and Fogarty, the seniors, are shooting it tonight.
16 points for Noonan. Across the lane and a knockaway. Here comes Grand Jeanette, and he's fouled. Jack Grand Jeanette is fouled, and now the Bishop Garrigan side of the crowd is screaming, and the Lake Mills side is dead silent.
Oh, Jack Grand Jeanette playing with some serious energy. He spent almost the entire first half on the bench with foul trouble. He's got energy to burn here, which is never a problem for Jack Grand Jeanette, having enough energy.
Not just a great basketball player, but great in track and field as well. 100-meter hurdler, so you've got to have that energy if you're going to be an effective track athlete, and he translates that over to the basketball court.
Tyler, always the track fan.
I love a good track nugget as Fogarty gets it. We'll check that Mahler. He'll hand it off to Noonan, finds Fogarty in the lane, spins to his right, picks the ball behind his back, puts it up and puts it in.
Well, Fogarty is a man. He cannot be stopped in the lane right now. Just keep feeding that beast. Nice job by Noonan. He wanted to pull up for a fadeaway jumper, but that resulted in a much better look at the hoop.
And now Helming sails inside and he scores it. You know, that last bucket by Fogarty, he lost control of the ball. It was almost sitting on his back, but he kind of reached around with the right hand and peeled it off and somehow got the shot up.
You know, he was frustrated. Some kids get better when they're frustrated, and some kids get worse. But Fogarty's finding that zone where he's making himself better when he's frustrated.
3:50 on the clock. Bishop Garrigan up by 10. Noonan is tripping, and he's losing the ball out of bounds.
Now, Garrigan, you know, they've built this 10-point lead. I don't know if they even expected it, but they're playing with some incredible energy right now. Now's where they got to lock down mentally and realize the situation that they're in. They've built this lead. They don't want to change their pace. They don't want to let up, but they definitely want to make good decisions and really hone that brain on.
I'm interested to see how Bishop Garrigan closes out this second half as they try to close out on the three-pointers. Helming left it short. Golden Bears had trouble closing out games like this last year. Games against West Hancock and Forest City got away from them in the second half. As it's hooked up and in by Mahler, that's one way to keep your foot on the gas pedal.
Nice bucket by Mahler. He's got that nice soft touch. Now, one name we haven't called forever is Kingland. Trayton Sink is face guarding him. He's not going to let Kingland get that ball back.
Trayton Sink being the Kingland stopper in the second half. Helming missing in the lane, but it comes out to Kingland. It sets him up for an open three, but he misses right, and Grand Jeanette secures the board.
Shots just are not falling for Lake Mills, making it look easy for Garrigan as they get this lead up to 12 points.
2:56 left in the quarter. Grand Jeanette passing left to Noonan. Didn't look the ball into his hand, but saved it from going out of bounds as he bobbled it. Now he'll drive, he'll sidestep, he'll shoot it past Menke, but that was a tough shot and he couldn't get it to fall. Fogarty diving to the floor, and a jump ball is going to be forced here.
You know, there's Fogarty again. That looked like an easy rebound for Helming, and Fogarty stayed in there and battled for it, created a loose ball situation, ends up being a jump ball, all because of a hustle play. You know, Golden Bears have got to do that this season, got to get that hustle. Big wet spot on the floor because big sweaty Andrew Fogarty just rolled all over the place underneath the hoop, and Coach Meister gets a towel out to the official to clean up this mess.
45-33 is the Bishop Garrigan advantage right now. Fogarty getting the floor burn on this possession. Possession arrow is towards the Golden Bears. Grangenet lobs it out top to Sink, and to the left to Schwab, who just replaced Noonan after Noonan brought some insane energy to the ball game. Grangenet crossing over, drifts towards the far side and gives it to Schwab. Schwab at the foul line, passes left to Mahler. Mahler comes around Schwab and lobs it, and Bishop Garrigan ran out of time on the shot clock.
I think that is the first shot clock violation that I've been announcing for the new shot clock this year in high school basketball. Actually kind of fun to play with. The kids tell me they like seeing that countdown all the time. Makes it exciting.
It does make it exciting, and it makes the end of the game so much better. You have to really just run a full possession for 35 seconds, and you can't just take the air out of the basketball. Pretty much all coaches I've talked to have said they appreciate having the shot clock now. Mankey, right angle three-pointer, off the back of the cup. Sink reaches above everyone as he gets the rebound. Now Schwab comes to the court, down low Mahler, he's wide open and he lays it in.
Oh, Garrigan Bears running him out of the gym. Coach Mankey needs another timeout. The shots aren't falling and he is out of answers for the moment. They're gonna try to figure something out.
They will try to figure it out during the timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. Bishop Garrigan 47, Lake Mills 33 on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services. Celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. Collision Specialist. A total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Bishop Garrigan has taken Lake Mills' lunch money here in the third quarter. Golden Bears bullying the Bulldogs with a 19-6 scoring run to open the half. Right now 47-33 in favor of Bishop Garrigan. Kingland trying to create. Passing down low, Stenserud boxes out Schwab and lays it in.
Well, you knew Lake Mills had to figure out something, and they figured out they need to get to that ball into Kingland's hand. He hardly touched it for the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. That time, he has his hands on the ball, results in points for Lake Mills.
Noonan is back in the game. He has 16 points. Noonan steps back, fought about a big-time heat check, but he passed it left to Schwab instead. And we've got a foul away from the play against Bishop Garrigan.
I think they're going to call that on Trayton Sink with a push against Manis trying to get open. Trayton Sink just pushed off a little too hard to get open, and the official right there to call the push. You know, very few fouls called overall in this game. At this point, towards the end of the third quarter, there's only been 4 fouls called in the half.
And that is the first on Sink of the evening. He's been playing some aggressive defense tonight, just to have 1 foul. Kingland puts one high off the window and drops it in.
Oh, that was a pretty move.
He is single-handedly keeping Lake Mills afloat. 47-37, it's back down to a 10-point game. Schwab with the left hand. On the near side, he's right on the logo. Dishes to Mahler, and Mahler got fouled as he penetrated into the lane.
Boy, Schwab really threaded a needle. When I saw what he was trying to do, and I thought, oh, Carter Schwab, don't throw that pass, it's not open. And he somehow threaded that needle, got the ball to his teammate, Drew Muller, who almost put some English on that thing and made it go in as he got hacked going to the hoop.
52 seconds left in the quarter. A total Bishop Garrigan domination in the third, but watch out, Lake Mills. They scored over 68 points a game last year. Offense has been quiet, and they're trying to find something to get that on track. Golden Bears will try to keep putting the pressure on defensively as Mahler drains the foul shot, and it's 48-37.
You know, Garrigan doesn't have a ton of experience. 6-16 last year. They don't have a ton of experience of playing with the leads. So this is going to be new territory for them for the most part. We'll see how their composure is. But right now, as you're waiting for this free throw by Muller, you got to be thinking, find Kingland and lock him down.
Missed foul shot, rebound by Stensrud. 48 seconds to go in the quarter. Here comes Bacon. In the corner, open free, Manus. Swish! Crowd getting back into it, 8-point game. Golden Bears cannot let up the momentum at the end of the third. Schwab sees some trouble, and he navigates left and avoids it. Kingland is defending. Schwab picks up his dribble and flips it left to Bauer. Bauer to Mahler just outside of the lane. Manus knocks it away, finds the cutting Bauer down the lane, flips it up in the right hand, and he got it!
Justin Bauer with some bonus points off the bench. They didn't put him in there to score, but he does it anyway. What a bucket by JB.
That is a confident shot, not an easy shot, wide open, no doubt about it, to take coming off the bench. Had to fight for that one as Kingland's in the lane. He runs into traffic, a bounce pass to Stensrud, and he lays it in.
Oh, that's a nifty passing down low.
Schwab at the end of the quarter got it to Noonan. Three-pointers up, and Noonan left it a little bit short. That brings an end to the third quarter, but the crowd has come back alive for Lake Mills. Bishop Garrigan with an 8-point advantage as we head to the fourth on Hometown Radio, KLGA, and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
With over a decade of experience, Jake Ingalls Electric is here to handle any electrical job you could possibly have. From anything agricultural related to complex commercial wiring to something simple like installing a new outlet in your home, Jake Ingalls Electric does it all. Have your wiring done right and call Jake at 515-320-4286. Jake Ingalls Electric, shockingly good service.
As we come back to Lake Mills High School, it's Bishop Garrigan 50 and Lake Mills 42. Golden Bears trying to start the season by turning the top of Iowa West upside down. Golden Bears went 6-10 in conference play last season and finished 7th in the league, and they're trying to take down the top dog. They're 8 minutes away, but Lake Mills, Beanie, has gotten some momentum back, and they don't feel too bad going into the fourth, but they need to find some more offense.
Yeah, they were incredibly stagnant offensively that third quarter. Kingland wasn't touching the ball. They called that timeout and said, get that ball to the senior. He started making some things happen. They made some great interior passing, and they start the ball with the ball this fourth quarter down 8. This is a great ball game, folks.
Bishop Garrigan's hit a few three-pointers tonight. They've gotten that on track as it's a spin move by Helming. Puts it up and puts it in.
Oh, Tyler, we talked off the air. You said you expected more from Helming because we knew he was good. He showed it there with that great spin move and elevation.
And now Noonan skipping inside, blocked. Helming got a hand on it. And here comes Kingland, 6-point game. Kingland against Sink, forces him towards the corner. Long pass, dangerous pass, and it's tracked down by Bacon. Grangenet for the knockaway, dives to the floor, and he's behind the play. Grangenet almost had the steal. Bacon coming inside, pass towards the boundary is saved by Manus, and then Grangenet jumps it and stole it. Grangenet at the court, looking for the bucket, puts it up, and he got fouled. Jack Grangenet making that happen single-handedly.
Wow, Jack was able to go that whole third quarter. He didn't play the whole third quarter, but he went the whole third quarter with those 3 fouls, never picked up another one. I didn't think it was possible, but now the senior playing with incredible hustle. He just left a huge streak of sweat on the floor as he dove for a ball trying to get the steal. He wasn't going to be denied until he came up with one.
You can see why Bishop Garrigan is shooting so well on 2-pointers this year as Grangenet drains the foul shots. They attack the basket so hard, they're always looking to get it inside. In fact, Bishop Garrigan this year, they're shooting over 61.5% on threes. And just for reference, or on Tuesday, it's every 7th if they're shooting that much on threes, but over 60% of their 2-point shots are going in, and they are just getting to the rack with great efficiency.
And Grangenet hits both free throws. The lead is now 8.
8-point advantage. Kingland inside, misses, followed by Stensrud, and he puts it in with the left hand.
Boy, Stensrud has been keeping his team alive down low with a couple blocks and a couple big rebounds here in the half. And Helming and Stensrud are starting to play inside with a lot more physicality.
He's starting to come alive as it's Sink, passing to Noonan. Noonan in the post to Fogarty, works towards his right, then switches back to the left, and it's blocked. Stensrud with his 5th rejection of the night.
Good patience by Fogarty, but Stensrud has figured him out.
Mankey in the corner, Grangenet closes, Mankey blows by him and scoops the layup in. 4-point game.
Here comes Schwab up the floor. He's going to drive.
Schwab's going to take it himself. He got fouled. He put it down. He screams as he has a chance for a three-point play. Carter Schwab's been a distributor of the basketball, but now he's a scorer of the basketball.
I knew he was taking that in. You can already see the young man when he gets that ball in his left hand and he gets the opponent on his hip, and he knows that that opponent doesn't know he's a lefty, and he has a good quick step, and he explodes to the hoop knowing that that defender is not going to be able to stay with him. He almost picks up the foul first and then puts the bucket in. Good skill by that young lefty.
54-48, Schwab left the foul shot short, and Stensrud boxes out. 6:21 left in the ballgame. Kingland over to the right to Stensrud. Now towards the near side, Bacon. Bacon has it, looks inside for Helming, passes left to Kingland. Kingland against Grandjeanette, the help comes. Out to Stensrud, three-point ball is line drive. It's batted away from Noonan and it's taken by Stensrud. He heads inside, and it's a blocking foul against Drew Fogarty. Stensrud driving in, and now he'll head to the line for two.
Well, that was a puzzler. The official had to think about it for a while, as did I. I saw Fogarty hit the floor, Stensrud going in. That was one of those 50-50 calls. Didn't go Garrigan's way. It really could have gone either way. Stensrud could have easily gotten called for the charge. Just easy a block. That was no man's land there. As Stensrud knocks down the first free throw.
Stensrud now has 10 points. Stensrud had 15 and 7 as far as points and rebounds in their opening game against Belmont Clemmy. Trying to make it a 4-point game. Left it way short. Rebound Schwab. Schwab wants to add some pace. Look out from behind. It's poked away. Grandjeanette saves it back into play, but it's right to Kingland. Clutch defensive play by Lake Mills. 5-point ball game. Kingland fought about a three. Passes to Helming for a better three, but he left it short, and Fogarty grabs the rebound on the strong side.
Well, here comes Grandjeanette, and I don't think I've ever seen Jack Grandjeanette play with more tenacity here. He is absolutely flying all over the floor.
Schwab pump fakes. Mahler pops out to the top of the key, finds a cutting Fogarty inside, right at the bucket, put it up and put it in.
Stensrud blocked him a moment ago. That time, Fogarty knew the moves to do to keep Stensrud off him.
Kingland thought about pulling up for a three, but passed it to Helming. Back outside Kingland as Grandjeanette defends with 5:17 on the clock. Kingland penetrating, dishing, three-point try on the way. Left a little bit short by Stensrud. Offensive board Helming. Fades back for a jumper and he drills it. Lance Helming is coming alive.
You know, you may be wondering, where's Aiden Hovey to defend that inside? I believe Hovey's not feeling so well or something. I saw he's not even on the bench right now. I think he's in the locker room getting some treatment. I saw him talking to the coaches earlier.
Oh, and right now it's Ryan Noonan. Ryan Noonan answers right back with a jumper of his own from the right side, 58-51.
So we'll have to find out how Aiden Hovey, he might have gotten dinged up a little bit, but it looks like he's not in for the rest of the game.
That's a good catch by you as Grandjeanette tries to get the steal. Bishop Garrigan will be whistled for a foul. Grandjeanette picking up number 4.
I thought it might be coming. On defense, he has just been everywhere, hands everywhere. He's all over Kingland, trying his best, and now he's going to have to do it with 4 fouls. He's still on Kingland.
Helming turns around and gives it to Stensrud. Crossing the lane, banging
Travel.
Inside, and a foul is called from the referee trailing the play. He bumped bodies of Mahler, and Drew Mahler will pick up foul number 3.
Yeah, this particular official always seems to be the guy that has to call him against Garrigan, so he's not going to get a lot of love from the Garrigan crowd as we see him throughout the season. But that time, called it from a long ways away, the block on Drew Mahler.
And the foul shot bounces off as Stensrud couldn't connect.
Yeah, Stensrud has had a heck of a second half here for Lake Mills. A huge block on Andrew Fogarty and then a couple good buckets. But Fogarty has gotten the best of him, and most recently, as those 2 post players have really been battling down low.
Stensrud missed the second one. They took a peek inside, but it rattled out. 58-51 is still our score. Grandjeanette is right at half court. Kingland gets in his face. Grandjeanette crosses over and creates space to the left. High lob to Noonan. Helming defends. Finds Fogarty. Fogarty crashes inside. Fights it up and it rolls off. It's poked away and Schwab tracks down the rebound. Schwab sidearms it and it's knocked away. Kingland got a finger on it. Here comes Helming. Striding to the bucket. He got fouled and he put it down. Lance Helming. He'll try to finish a 3-point play as Lance Helming now has 12 points.
He just elevates, skies through the air, holds that ball in his left hand. Here's the whistle blow and just taps it off the glass and through the bucket. Noonan tried his best, but Helming with the height elevation over him and couldn't do anything. Noonan's going to take a break on the bench right now. He's all smiles. You know he's going to be back for another shot as Helming attempts the free throw and calmly knocks it down.
4-point ball game just like that. 13 points for Helming. Garrigan's got to stay on the gas pedal. Grangenet has it, far side of the court. Squeezes past Mankey and passes out to Mahler, to the left to Schwab. Schwab finds Fogarty. Fogarty's in a lot of traffic. It's poked away. Lake Mills dives on top of it, but a jump ball is forced as Mahler drove in there as well.
Well, it was a great look to get the ball to Fogarty. That time Fogarty wasn't deep enough under the hoop to do his footwork. He was a little on the free throw line, extended almost, tried to do a between the legs dribble, and found himself in the midst of a triple team and couldn't dribble his way out of that. Now, Schwab and Grangenet out there together. I'm looking for a play where Grangenet gets the ball at the key and we get Schwab on cut into the hoop, because that young Schwab can play physical inside if he gets a step on a guy.
This is the next step in the Garrigan progression as a timeout is called right now. We said it before, but again, last year, this is the type of game that got away in an intense environment. Again, they played West Hancock, had a lead in the fourth quarter. That escaped from them. Forest City, same story. And they have not been in a situation like this against Lake Mills in a couple of years. But
right.
Again, if you're making the next step as a team, you've got to find a way to close it out. You've got to play defense. If free throws become a factor, you've got to hit your free throws. You've just got to be calm and composed on offense and take good shots.
Yeah, missed free throws are definitely going to loom large in this last 3.5 minutes roughly of the game. But both teams are in a situation that they're not used to. Garrigan is not used to playing with a lead at the end of the game, and Lake Mills is not used to having to come from behind at the end of the game.
Good point.
So it's going to be interesting to see how both these crews of young men deal with this situation that they're not used to. But boy, there's definitely some sweaty young guys out there. They've got towels out. They've been mopping up this floor. I don't think the towels can mop it, but I think they're saturated.
Yes, the blood, sweat, and tears have been left on the floor tonight, and still 3 minutes and 45 seconds left. Schwab has it just to the left of center. Lake Mills sitting back in the zone. Sink actually just slipped on a wet spot on the floor.
People are forgetting that Fogarty is an excellent three-point shooter, and they just left him alone on the perimeter. He was calling for it.
Schwab gets it to Mahler in the near corner. Bishop Garrigan 3 seconds into the lane. Sink. Bishop Garrigan's not going to get the shot off. Shot clock violation. Bishop Garrigan, their second of the night.
Fogarty, the senior's trying to rally his team, saying, come on, guys. I think he wanted that three-point shot. And he of course, hindsight is 20/20. He realized, yeah, I would have had a shot there if he would have passed it to me. And now they buckle down and play some defense.
Bacon starts to the right. Bounce pass to Stensrud. In the corner, Mankey catches in his hip pocket. Lets it fly, and he swishes it. 1 point game. Eli Mankey, a clutch three.
And that was way in the corner, almost falling out of bounds. What a shot there by Eli Mankey. He has been keeping that three-point ball key shots for Lake Mills at key moments.
Mankey now with 10 points. 58-57 Bishop Garrigan, less than 3 minutes to go. Here comes Schwab, shovels it to Fogarty, now Sink. Pump fakes on a 2, almost traveled but avoided it. Schwab dancing inside, tried to scoop it up, and he got bailed out with a foul.
Yeah, bailed out is the right idea. Can you hear the Lake Mills crowd over the radio? They're shocked. Yeah, he was, I think the Stensrud was standing there, and Schwab did some little English wrap around his body, and oh, that's it for Stensrud. Oh dear.
Number 5 on Stensrud, and that is a big loss as his three-point shooting heads to the bench. He checks out with 10 points.
That is a big loss because he is the guy who's been defending Fogarty down low. Now the Bears can pound it down low to Drew Fogarty the rest of the way.
Schwab misses short. They acted like that was a 1-and-1. Fogarty rebounded and tried to put it back up, but that's a 2-shot foul, folks. So
yeah,
Schwab will shoot here.
You know, the officials got to make sure that clear because sometimes people stop thinking at this point in the game when you've been playing hard the whole way.
Instincts take over, and Schwab missed them both. Lance Helming has the rebound, and Lake Mills has the basketball with 2:39 left.
There's those looming missed free throws.
Kingland working against Schwab. Kingland out to Manus for the lead, and he missed it long. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's back to Garrigan off the hands of Helming.
Great battle by Fogarty and Helming for that rebound. Looked like Fogarty had it, but Helming swiped it from the inside and knocked it out of bounds. Now, Fogarty's got to get down there and post up big against Helming.
Fogarty's getting in position as Grangenet walks it across half court. Kingland took a swipe at the ball, but Grangenet kept it out of trouble. Mahler in traffic finds Grangenet. Here he comes. He gets stripped. Falls out of bounds, and it's back to Lake Mills.
Oh, Grangenet was stripped. but they say it goes to Lake Mills. It must have went off of Grangenet's leg after he got stripped on a clean strip. It must have rolled off his toe. Here we go, Lake Mills with another opportunity to take the lead, Tyler. This is some good basketball here early season.
An instant classic. Kingland drifting to the left, finds Menke in the corner for three. Noonan fouled them. Noonan closed out hard, he sailed in, and he drilled Menke on the three-point try.
Boy, Menke slipped and fell. Kingland went over there to give him a high five, and Kingland slipped and fell. I was worried one of those guys hit their head pretty hard there, but they both popped right back up, and they're okay. Menke's going to go shoot 3 free throws, so get comfortable.
Bishop Garrigan was up by 13 at one point, but that lead has been frittered away in the second half. Golden Bears have gone cold in the fourth, just 8 points so far this quarter. Lake Mills with a 15-8 scoring edge and trying to add more with Menke at the foul line. Menke only attempted 6 foul shots last year. He made 3 of them, but he has 3 on the way right now.
Well, he's got to make 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead, and 3 will put him up by 2. This is the first one.
0 for 1. Garrigan still clinging desperately to a 1-point lead.
Well, impressive how Lake Mills has just chipped away at this big lead by the Bears that they had towards the end of the third quarter.
Menke nails the second one. We are tied at 58. I believe the last tie was 31-31 or somewhere in that range. It has been a while.
Yeah, and Garrigan at one point there was up 13 at least.
And the second one rattles. Offensive rebound, Helming. He took it right away from Fogarty. Goes to the bucket and lays it in. Lake Mills has the lead, 60-58. Lance Helming with 15. He has roared to life in the second half.
Well, first was a huge miss by Menke, but before you get excited as a Golden Bear fan, Helming gets the rebound. Offensive, puts him up by 2.
Everyone's slipping on the floor right now. Noonan inside, floats it up, rolls off the rim. Menke knocks it away, and Kingland grabs the rebound. Kingland falls down, keeps his dribble, and he gets it over to Helming, who now gives it back to Kingland.
Oh, Noonan loves a little baseline drive, and the floater shot looked like it was going to go. It just wouldn't for the Bears.
Kingland floating, banking, scoring. 4-point lead, Lake Mills, and that was steal in the backcourt. Lake Mills stole it away.
It's a scrum. It's a battle for the ball on there. It's wrestling right now in the corner. Bacon comes up acting like he didn't do anything, and they're going to call Grangenette for a foul after Bacon went for him when he had the ball. Oh, this is going to be the official is stuck. If Fogarty is pleading his case, he doesn't know how that could possibly be the call. Boy, you're only going to be able to see that on film. And we could hardly get that corner.
They're going to give it now to Bishop Garrigan.
Okay.
They're going to overrule the first official. They discussed it and cooler heads prevailed.
Wow, I was going to get a little high-headed there. I don't know how that was going to be a call and give the ball to Lake Mills when they were clearly the aggressor on that. But whoa, whew. Cooler heads prevailed. Garrigan does come away with the ball, and Grangenette stays in the game.
3-point try, Noonan off the top of the backboard, no good, and Kingland has the rebound. 4-point game, and now Lake Mills can take the air out of the basketball.
Coach Menke is telling his team to pick up the tempo.
Well, he was worried Kingland was going to get a 10-second violation.
Oh, Grangenette with the steal.
They've got a kick ball, I believe. Grangenette stuck his foot out to try to knock that away.
Wow, Grangenette. I would not want to have to bring the ball up against Grangenette right now. Maybe that's what was making Kingland take his time, come across that half-court line. But this is a ball game, folks. I know Garrigan is down 4, but it feels like they're right in this thing.
Timeout is called on the floor. We'll keep it right here, 51 seconds left. How do you unpack those last couple minutes? I mean, Lake Mills, they have turned this game in a complete 180. Garrigan still has a chance, but now what do you do here? Do you foul? Do you play defense? What's going to happen next?
No, I don't think you foul right away, but I think you put Grangenette up top on Kingland and try to deny the ball as hard as you can on the inbound. Try not to let them get that ball inbounds, but as soon as that clock clicks below about 40 seconds, you better start fouling. Go for that steal on the inbounds pass. You know, Jack Grangenette's been all over. He could make a steal happen. Fogarty's been aggressive. He can make a steal happen. Plenty of time left here in this boys' basketball game. But, boy, Lake Mills didn't go on a fast run. They went on a slow motion run. Started about 6 minutes left in the game. They were down big, down double digits, and they just slowly went on a run. They kept chipping away with good passing. A couple of huge plays. That offensive rebound by Helming put back to put them up by 2. Clearly swung the momentum in their favor. And, and as their student section has chanted that they're fired up. Every reason to be, but Garrigan deny this inbounds pass. Here we go.
51 seconds left. Lake Mills to inbound from half court.
They got Schwab on Kingland.
Menke will trigger it in. Noonan guarding the inbounds pass. Menke looking, and he gets it into Manus. And then he finds Bacon. And it's knocked away, but a foul. Knocked away, but a foul against Bishop Garrigan. They almost stole it away from Bacon. They almost took his Bacon.
They almost took the Bacon from the Bacon, and that was just what they needed. Oh, boy, you would have liked to see a no call there. Ryan Noonan tapped it out of Bacon's hands, and Schwab was right there to pick it up. Schwab was going to go for an easy layup. God, that would have been exciting. As it is, we're going to have some boring free throws.
Bacon was 1 of 7 at the foul line last season. Lake Mills really struggled at the free-throw line as they missed it. Mahler got the rebound. Lake Mills is just 10 of 21 against Belmont Plummy from the charity stripe, and they missed a big one right there. 40 seconds left. Schwab over to Grangenet, guarded by Manus. Grangenet looks for space with 36 seconds left. Time is valuable, and Golden Bears don't have a whole lot to waste here.
I'm looking for Andrew Fogarty down low. Here he comes off the screen.
Fogarty
missed him.
Can't find space. Now it's Schwab driving inside. Schwab dishes to Fogarty. Put it up, and he missed it. And the rebound is taken by Bacon. 20 seconds left, and Garrigan's got a foul. And they do. With 18 seconds left, they foul Kingland.
Oh, that was a good look. Fogarty thought Schwab was going to finish. Schwab got in real deep, got underneath the hoop. And at the last second, Schwab decided to flip it to Fogarty, who wasn't quite ready for it. Put up the shot, didn't go. Good look for the Bears. They couldn't ask for anything better than that look there.
And Kingland, a 70% foul shooter, drains it. 5-point game. Now, no matter what happens, it's still a 2-possession game as Kingland now has 19 points. But whatever happens next for Bishop Garrigan is going to have to happen quickly as a full timeout is called with 18.6 seconds left. So if you're Coach Meister, what strategizing are you doing in the timeout right now?
Well, you don't have to get a 3-point shot if they miss this free throw. But if they make this free throw, if Kingland puts this in the hoop, they're probably going to come down and take the first good-looking 3-point shot they can get, call their timeout, set up a press, and hope for the best. But right now, it's a, if they're going to have to create a turnover. They can't foul and put Kingland on the line, who's obviously a good foul shooter. You hate to see a great battle like this come down to fouling and free throws because it's been such an exciting game so far. What an early season test for both these teams. This has been really fun. All right, Garrigan's going to put out their Grangenet, Muller, Schwab, Noonan, and Fogarty.
That'll be the 5 for Bishop Garrigan coming out of the timeout. Right now it's Denton Kingland with 19 points, Lance Hammond with 11. On Bishop Garrigan's side, Ryan Noonan with 18 and Drew Fogarty with 11 as Kingland heads to the foul line for the second of the 1-and-1.
Yeah, Lake Mills is wisely going to keep everyone back, make sure Jack Grangenet doesn't get a run out off the free throw.
Kingland drills it. Nothing but net, 18 seconds left. Let it roll. Carter Schwab's going to let it roll now. He'll pick it up to save a couple of seconds. Schwab hands it up to Grangenet. Bishop Garrigan needs a 3. Fogarty thought about pulling with 11 seconds. To the left to Grangenet. Golden Bears are running out of time. Grangenet splitting the defense with 7 seconds. Out to Schwab. This is taking way too long. Fogarty 3-point bowl, and he drills it with 2 seconds left. And Coach Meister takes a timeout. Back down to a one-possession game. You got the 3, but that took way too long.
It took way too long. Way too long. Unfortunately, the Bears are going to run out of time here with 1.4 seconds left. Great shot by Fogarty. He drills it. Like I said earlier, you forget how good a 3-point shooter he is. Just might be a little too late by Fogarty there, but what a whale of a game that young man has played. You know, the best that you can hope for now, there's not even really time to foul. You got to hope to steal this inbounds pass and put it immediately up for that tying 3-pointer for Bishop Garrigan Bears. So you're still clinging to a hope and a prayer here for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, but wow, what a finale to this ball game. Looked like Garrigan was going to run them out of the gym in the third quarter, absolutely destroying Lake Mills Bulldogs, but they did not give up, and they kept chipping away at the Garrigan lead, and I think they're going to come out with a victory unless there's a miraculous event here.
Now, tell me if I'm thinking too hard on this, but if you're Lake Mills inbounding here, do you inbound it within the 3-point line so Bishop Garrigan can't get a catch-and-shoot 3 on the steal?
No, you're not thinking too much. That's a great idea. I like even better just a long throw. You throw it all the way down to the opposite free throw line if you're Lake Mills. Even if Garrigan goes down there and catches, they have to heave a Hail Mary.
They'll inbound it inside the 3-point line. Kingland is fouled with 0.1 seconds left.
Instead, we're doing the boring thing. Foul and go shoot those boring end-of-game free throws.
Well, they say 0.4 is the quickest you can release a shot, so if Kingland misses here, Garrigan's going to have to somehow tip this the full length of the court. I think that's probably not in the cards here as Kingland will shoot. 64-61. Kingland puts it up, and he drains it. 65-61 with a 100th of a second left. He has 21 points. He has been the lifeblood of this Lake Mill Bulldog team. Kingland, second foul shot on the way, and he drills it. 22 points. 0.1 left, it's into play, and that is it. Your final score tonight, and you're not going to believe your ears. Lake Mills 66, Bishop Garrigan 61. We'll take a timeout and wrap it up next on Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube live stream.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio. Brought to you by these sports club members.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community for over 125 years with offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Jensen Chiropractic. Care for the whole family.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oak Crest Funeral Services. Celebrating a life lived.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. Collision Specialist. A total commitment to excellence.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Iowa. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Iowa High School Athletic Association and the Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association.
Back to wrap it up from Lake Mills High School, where the Golden Bears let one slip out of their grasps tonight. Final score, Lake Mills 66, Bishop Garrigan 61. I'm Tyler Lance, my partner's Beanie Bodie, and Beanie, Golden Bears had all the momentum in the third quarter. They opened it on a 19-6 scoring run. They were up by 13 points at one point, and Lake Mills just slowly worked back into it. Golden Bears went a little cold in the fourth, and all of a sudden, that's a recipe for an L against a very good Lake Mills team.
Yeah, credit to Lake Mills there. They made some adjustments. That third quarter, Kingland didn't touch the ball. We did a great job defensively against him, and Garrigan built that 13-point lead. And at one point, honestly, it looked like Lake Mills was stumped. They called the timeout, came back out, still stopped them. It looked like they were not going to get their offense on track, and just as soon as you thought the Bears were going to run away with it, they figured out their offense. They started doing some nice interior passing. They worked the ball inside. That opened up some kick-out threes. The player Menke.
Eli Menke, yes.
Eli Menke.
Kyle Menke is the coach.
Yeah, Kyle Menke is the coach. Well, Eli Menke hit a couple of huge threes from the corner, and then their offense started clicking. They started making the shots, and when you're making the shots, it all looks easy. Garrigan didn't go so cold as much as they just seemed to could not get a shot up for a while there. Third quarter started out. Andrew Fogarty couldn't be stopped, and I thought he might just score 20 points in the second half. And then Stensrud did a nice job of slowing him down just enough that they just start chipping away in that lead. But what a whale of a basketball game, unpredictable. Tyler, the prognosticator, you called it. You said Lake Mills averages about 68 points a game, and sure enough, they ended up with 66. I didn't believe they were going to get that far when Garrigan had that 13-point lead, but I guess that's why you play the whole game.
You've got to follow the numbers sometimes, and that is why you play the whole game. And it shows Lake Mills still has a little bit of that conference title-winning DNA inside of them, however much that is. And really, it's hard to say because it's not that I've seen every team in the top of Iowa West play earlier this season, so who knows what everyone has. But I don't think it would be a stretch to say this may be the two best teams in the conference right now. I think you could throw Garner in that conversation. Maybe West Hancock makes a move in there as well. But it feels like these two teams, probably plus Garner, are going to be the top three based only on early season returns. Obviously, it could change.
Right, and I think West Hancock will improve greatly over the season. They played in that state championship football game, which means everybody has nearly 2 weeks of practice on them. So it'll take them a while to get off their football pads and put on their basketball shoes. But I think West Hancock will be much improved over the course of the season. But I agree. Like, sure, Garrigan has lost to Newman. They've lost to Lake Mills. But those are early season losses, and clearly this Bishop Garrigan team has some talent out there. Both games we've seen points come from multiple players. Grangenet, Noonan, Fogarty, Drew Moeller, Carter Schwab, Aiden Hovey. Like, they have a lot of weapons, and when it starts gelling together, they're going to be a hard team to stop. We saw a little bit of that there in the third quarter when Lake Mills wasn't able to stop that offense of Bishop Garrigan. They just got to, like everybody, you got to get a little hot, and you got to move the ball around well.
Yeah, that Achilles heel tonight of closing out the game got the Golden Bears. Lake Mills got back into it, but you can see what the Golden Bears are trying to do offensively. That balance is just going to be such an asset throughout the course of the season, regardless of who you're playing. You don't have to just sit around and rely on one scorer. And really, there were times tonight when Lake Mills had to sit around and rely on Denton Kingland, but the key to the game, Lance Helming absolutely came alive in the fourth quarter. It was rebounding, it was scoring. He ended up with 15 points, and it came at clutch times, too. They were back-breaking points he got. It was rebounding off a missed free throw. Just things like that made Helming really have the game he did, especially in the second half.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was a coach talking to or what. I mean, but we commented off the air during a commercial that he was fairly inactive down there, and we thought we'd see a lot more scoring out of him. And a few seconds after that, he started putting the ball in the hoop.
So Bishop Garrigan will now try to dust themselves off, but it will not get a whole lot easier on Thursday as Newell Fonda visits town, and that was a team that dropped over 90 points on Bishop Garrigan last year. Now, different season, and again, this is where you can show your improvement. Bishop Garrigan got blown out by Newman Catholic last year. They played a competitive game last week. They got blown out twice by Lake Mills last year, and they very nearly had this one won in this gymnasium. So can they do it again against Newell, except finish this one off this time against, again, what is supposed to be a very solid team and a very tough non-conference test?
Yes, I'm anxious to see the Newell game on Thursday. It's going to be a different matchup if you want to come out to the gym and watch it, because Newell is very fast, good ball handling, put a lot of pressure on you. Garrigan on the side this year, they've got some size. Garrigan can really take it to you down low, I think, with this year. Can they get that ball down low to Moeller and Fogarty and Logan Nemmers off the bench? And so it's a tale of two teams here on Thursday night against Newell. Short and fast versus big, and although, you know, you look at the way Jack Grangenet flew around the floor tonight, and we looked pretty quick there. So it'll be another fun game on Thursday night. But what a challenging schedule for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears to start the season. 3 difficult opponents right off the bat.
No doubt about it, as the Golden Bears, again, they play Newell Fonda on Thursday night. They're back at home on Thursday, as well as Friday. They'll face Eagle Grove on Friday night to get back into top of Iowa West play. But a great game tonight. Lake Mills defeating Bishop Garrigan by a final score in this one of 66-61 as it gets away at the end for the Golden Bears. I'll tell you what, can't wait to see the game, I believe, on January 17th when Lake Mills comes to Bishop Garrigan High School. These two teams get to do it again. This kind of has the feel of one of those seasons where you might see a team 2 times, or you know, you can't see them a third time, obviously, because of the postseason, but I wouldn't be surprised to see both these teams make a couple deep postseason runs as well going forward.
Boy, I agree. Put that on your calendar because, boy, both Garrigan came out just young men on fire tonight. They really, really wanted this contest, you could tell in the beginning, and they almost had it there, and then they awoken a fire in Lake Mills there because they really came on. So, boy, January 17th, it's going to be an all-out war between these two teams, I think. These young men are really going to battle.
Yeah, I don't know what people were planning on doing on January 17th, but if you miss that game, you better be dead or in jail. And if you're in jail, break out.
Well, how about you break out of jail? We'll see you in the Bishop Garrigan gym. We'll have the concession stand open for you.
So that is it for tonight. Again, 66-61 is the final score as Bishop Garrigan tonight defeated by Lake Mills. Golden Bears dropping now to 1-2. Lake Mills improving to 2-0. This has been a Hometown Radio KLGA sports production. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie, signing off for tonight. 66-61, your final score as Lake Mills defeats